Yespixel, episode 24, with our guest, the Half Hand, and our special guest host, Fit Nihil. How's it going, man? Real quick, we got a quick ad read for you that Troms is going to read out.
Guys, you wouldn't believe it. We've been doing this for what feels like half a year at this point, and we finally did it. We've been in talks. The talks have finally gone through. We made it. We've done it. We are sponsored by birthday cakes.
Birthday cakes.
Just generic birthday cake brand. You know, the kind your mom makes.
Everybody has a birthday. Think about it. Have you ever had a birthday before?
You guys couldn't secure Carvel or anything?
Shh. No. Listen, any birthday cake is good, okay? Any birthday cake, we love it. We're all about it. We're in, okay? If it's your birthday, grab a little slice, eat it. You know what's great about birthday cakes? Eat them on other people's birthdays, too. Statistically, if you're in a room with 10 people, one of you's had a birthday recently.
Imagine being an unlucky motherfucker and getting your birthday, New Year's, and Christmas all in the same week.
Okay, man. Really? We're going to bring that up. You know, it's already hard enough. Okay, it's hard enough for us. All right. It's not fair.
Okay. Half Hand, how's it going, man? Welcome. Thanks for coming to the podcast. Appreciate you.
Yeah, no problem, man. Glad to be here.
Why don't you start off by letting people know that are listening who you play, how long you've been on the server, stuff like that.
I got on the server when a lot of you guys got on the server. Actually, I think like mid 2019, like spring.
Right after the first 2.0 boom.
Yeah, so a little over 4 years. Or
always round up, so it's a little under 5 years.
So I now have two main characters. I used to have three, but I have my cop Fitzpatrick, and then my crim Thomas Sullivan, but everyone calls him Sully. I like nicknames and my characters. And I used to have a lawyer named Kevin McLaughlin, who was my main for a long time, but it was DOJ was just a lot of like work and stress. You know, I like to just play games and have fun, and I was like typing up like briefs and stuff, and I was like, I don't know.
I don't know if I feel like I'm getting off work to go to work.
Yeah, and like court got real try hard and stuff. So I still have that character, and it's like a backup character. Like if I ever permanent my cop or anything, like I'd probably use that character to go into the police.
Since you're already in the DOJ and have like technical experience, it makes sense. That's smart.
So I've brought that cop out. I mean that lawyer out for certain things, but I wouldn't consider my main character anymore.
That's like a great it's a great sort of like tip to anybody playing. Instead of perming, just shelf your character. You never know when you'll want something that they had back.
Yeah, I really know 3.0 stuff. Like I was big in 2.0 with that character, but I just in case I wanted to do lawyer stuff, I kept him around. But there's no like I'm not like connected to it too much. I had a lot of fun with it back in the day, but I just don't have the time to have three characters, to be honest. I just don't have the time for it.
Dude, it's hard to be able to swap with that many. Like especially to like keep things going, interesting things going with all three is
I don't even really have the time for two right now, to be honest. Like my criminal's I've been neglecting him as well. So it is
I've interacted with Sully a few times, and as far as like being a different character from like your other characters as well, it's difficult. At least this is what I find. It's always difficult to separate all of your characters, right?
Yeah,
like, oh, this one's got like this traits, or this one does this a little bit differently. And
yep. Yeah, it's very easy to, especially if you're like a one voice Andy, or if you don't give each of your characters a super goofy voice, it's very easy to go like, whoops, I'm the same person on 5 characters.
Dude, the amount of times I've almost said ahoy on Tim Littleman.
Oh yeah, or I'll be doing a criminal thing and they'll be like Fitz, and I'll be like, no.
Wait, so you get voice ID?
Well, yeah, like people are coming around the corner or whatever. But I spent like a lot of time to make like my criminal looks nothing like anyone. Like I spent a lot of time to make him look very unique. Just because even like people, like if you change your hairstyle, people won't recognize.
Oh yeah, I tell people I have hair blindness.
Everything's the same, and so it's funny because on my cop, I'll change his hairstyle like based off like an arc. Like if like a girl gives him a phone number, I'll do like a fuckboy hairstyle or something. So. And then people won't recognize me. But on the Crim, I don't. He's at the same look. He wears the same coat for like 4 years. I just keep him the same.
What were you saying, 52?
Oh yeah, the voices thing. Like, I can see, you know, you not being able to play characters if you're only doing one
Mhm.
voice. Because if you're using the same voice, I mean, only thing you can work on, and only thing you're letting other people work on is the traits, right? But if you're doing a voice, then it forces you in the headspace of whatever character it is you're playing. Because you know, the voice is like it. It helps you get in the headspace pretty much.
I agree,
Mhm.
100%. My lawyer, I would do a Boston accent. I grew up in
Wait,
Massachusetts, so
what?
it's
Do we hear
easy.
it?
I kind of, well, it's just what I used to sound like, to be honest. But it's, yeah, because he was Jordan Steele's lawyer, like personal attorney.
Nice.
So I'd go over to that lot and I'd be like, "Hey, my car parks here for free. All right, you call Steele," just like that. Just
Perfect.
just a
Love
Boston
it.
accent. But it is easier to differentiate with a voice, guaranteed. I just can't do voices. Like I suck at it.
Shit, you were there for Lock Q shit? Oh my god, man! I look back at that shit with rose tinted glasses. I miss it. Lock
I was
Q
so
is just
lucky.
so
Yeah, my
good.
Crim was not originally there, but kind of early on, I my criminal was, and that's another reason why I stopped, because my lawyer had Lot Q stuff, and then my criminal did, and I didn't want to have them both intertwined. So I kind of I just chose to do Crim instead of the lawyer stuff for them. You know, that was another reason why I kind of dropped the lawyer towards the end of 2.0.
Yeah, being a lawyer can be a lot of work, especially when you start getting deep in like several different arcs. When suddenly it's fun to like just go do like court and bench trials and like cell visits, but when suddenly 4 or 5 people are relying on you for like very important things, and you realize that if you like miss a period in a statement somewhere, like somebody might you might ruin their like RP or something. You're like, okay, wait a second. There's a lot more than I.
Yeah, you got to be on your game, or you can really like screw somebody over, and that's just part of the RP. Like I'm not trying to fuck you over, but it is what it
Mhm.
is. And then like I would say no to some things which I hate, but like, oh, this cop, let's sue him. He called me, and I'm like, I don't sue cops. Just stuff like that that I just didn't have the time
Mhm.
for.
Mm.
But I love doing it. It was fun. I got priority because of lawyer
Hell yeah.
stuff. So I had a great time
Gil
doing
didn't
it.
even Gil didn't even get prio from lawyer stuff. Damn, you must have been a great lawyer.
The stars aligned. Like you know, I had my crim like sniping Q when I could to get in a few times a
Mhm.
week.
Oh god,
And they
don't miss
posted in the
sniping
forums like, we
Q.
need lawyers, and I was like, well, that might help me, because like lawyers is like, it can be like cop, where I've always said cop is like easy mode roleplay. You
Mhm.
can just go to calls and talk to people,
That's
And you can
fair.
force people to
don't be
talk to you
terrible to
unless they
them.
want to commit a crime.
Yeah, that's what, like, you can't be terrible. Like, you have
Look
to
at
know
52's
that
face light up.
I
you
mean,
have to
true
know
words
that
haven't been spoken.
it's a little different, because they have to talk with you. Like, you know, people can, if they nope out, there's gonna be consequences. But lawyers is like, you can do is like, you can just log in, do cell reps, go to the courthouse. Like it's easier RP than like a crim without like a core group.
Mhm.
So that's what attracted me to it. And then I was getting a lot of cell reps, and then Mantis on Jerry Callow supported me, and it was fun. I really liked
That's
it.
awesome.
It was a lot of work.
Okay. Yeah, I've kind of been shadowing people on John Hydra. So for those that don't know, John Hydra agreed to suspension, and it turned into like an OOC firing, and then it was like a suspension pending transfer, and then it turned into an OOC firing. And so instead of just like being salty about it, I was just like, oh, I'll just try to be a judge. Like judges elections are coming up, I'll just go vote for being judge. And so if there's some stiff competition, I don't know if I'll make it, but I've been like telling people kind of like what they want to hear, like, but only like true things. Like I'm gonna take any bench trial if I'm around and not super busy. I will take any bench trial. If like you want a bench trial because you got a parking ticket and you want to do traffic court, I'm in. Let's go, right? And
Right.
also that like as a judge, I'm gonna hold both like defense attorneys and prosecutors and especially cops to the highest standard, right? Because I think that like sort of narratively makes sense, and like as a judge, like you're supposed to be objective and sort of apply the law evenly across the board. And if somebody's bringing in a half-written report or defense, like that's a good clause to be punished in roleplay, right?
Oh, I'm fucked. So single.
You're running on
So I'm
the
fucked.
availability ticket. Yeah.
But also, I'm running on like the Salt of the Earth ticket. I'm not going to be like the untalk-toable judge in his tower. I'm gonna like I skamazed a taxi off of Abdul so that I could literally just drive around and taxi people as a judge because I think that's really funny. I think that's very funny.
Hi, Joe. I've got a
What's up,
question
man?
for you because I'm gonna look at this as a case study. You were fired from PD, and your keys got taken.
Mhm.
Now that you're doing this judge thing, are you enjoying it more? Like change of pace, change of scenery.
I'm not
Do you
really
like it
doing
more?
the judge thing yet. So really what I'm doing right now is just like shadowing lawyers, like letting them know that I'm competent. We actually somebody got arrested for intent to distribute, and we actually ended up talking it down to like felony possession because they could have fought it in court, but we were like, look, it's gonna go on the docket. Why don't you just give him the $25K fine, this much, and then he'll walk and he'll do his jail time, and you guys win, and this will be his third strike. So then if he screws up again, he's screwed. And they're like, yeah, actually, that sounds great. Let's do that. So that was really fun. I showed both the police and the DOJ and the like criminals that I was like competent as like a lawyer. So that felt really validating. So I think that if I end up doing the judge thing, I think it'll be fun. I don't think it'll be as good as being a cop because there's just nothing quite like being a cop on Nopixel. But I think it'll be very fun and funny roleplay. I think that my position as a judge will be very interesting, and I really am excited to see how people respond to it if it goes through.
Do you think like, because I think how long is it? 6 months?
Yeah, it's
until like another
6 month
judge
term,
election. Are you like ready to pull in those full 6
So
months?
that's
and
what
just
Grayson actually
go for
asked
it?
me during the PD meeting, because I went the day before elections.
Yeah.
And I said, just so everybody knows, here's where I've been recovering. The person that was being an asshole for the last 2 months wasn't me. It was a doppelganger, somebody taking my place. I have medical evidence to prove this. Just look into the report. And then I was like, I'm running for judge. I want to stay in the justice system. I want to do the best good I can. And Grayson's like, well, are you going to do the full 6 month term, or whenever you can be if somebody offers you a job at PD in 15 days when you can get rehired, are you going to take it? And I said, no, I'm going to do the full 6 month term. Like I'm committing to the full term. And so that's what I said in character. So that's what I'm going to do. And I think that
I hope it works
I think
out.
that's also a really good way to show the PD that, like, if I am a good judge for 6 months, I think that suddenly goes like, okay, well, we can't really not hire this guy back, right? There's no real in-character reason not to. It's all personal, like, stuff at that point.
Yeah, we definitely need an available judge. Not that all of them aren't, but that would be good.
Yeah, I want to.
I've got a.
Go ahead.
I'll go for it. Go for it. No, finish.
I just want to really like. I want to actually make people say the words like, oh, he actually is available. He actually said he was going to be available, and he actually is. And I think Judge RP, you don't get to I don't think most judges stream their full day of being a judge. They will often just go live like before an interesting trial. I really just want people to see what being a judge is like all day. Like from when you wake up and leave your house to when you like get kidnapped by Mike Block during the court trial. I want people to see what that's like, So yeah, what were you gonna say, 52?
Mike Block almost got me. My cop got me. Witness tampering. And if you get that charge as a cop, you're fucked.
Oh no.
He almost got me that, and it was over some bullshit. I think you initiated it, Hydra. I almost got fucked. Thank God that court case was SBS.
That was 100% me on Stanky Leg. I fucked you so
That
bad.
court was SBS, and I got lucky because nobody takes a character like me seriously. So
I
no serious
fucked Red
consequences.
Harrington so bad during that whole thing. That poor guy was in Mike's custody for like 6 hours.
And
he hates me for it. He hates my character for it. Just every time he sees me, I get flagged.
Oh.
But a lot of people hate my character, so it's it's nothing new. Hoffhand, I wanted to ask you, did you get your cop as soon as 3.0 dropped, or like around the time 3.0 dropped?
I was in the first academy class, so it was like a month or two maybe.
Shit,
What was that
OG,
like? What was the first
OG,
academy
alright.
like?
Well, not the first 3.0
Mhm.
academy. I got dispatch in
Yeah, you were dispatch 2.0.
2.0, and then the first academy in 3.0. It was not easy. Like I got offered cop pretty early in the server, and I'm an idiot, so I turned it down. I was like, I don't think I've earned this yet, and I suck at driving, and
That
so
is
I
funny.
wanted
That's
to
funny
learn some
because
things.
you're an IRL cop, right? You're a cop in
Yeah,
real life.
that's my job IRL.
And
So
you
people
cannot.
started
I was
learning
gonna
that.
ask that because I've heard that tossed around a couple of times.
Yeah. So people learned that OC, and they offered me to be a cop, and I was like, no, like let me get in here. Like I just started my lawyer arc, and I was like, I don't think I earned it. Plus, I don't know if I have the time to put into 2 characters. I have a lot of stuff going on right now. And then it was funny that door closed, and then I was like, like 6 months later, I was like, okay, I'm ready, and they're like, well, you're gonna have to wait.
Yeah.
And then so I tried to apply to DOC, and I couldn't get in DOC, and I try. I hate like reaching out to people to try to get things, so I
Mhm.
tried to do it like organically. Um, and I couldn't get into DOC, and I finally got into dispatch, but I think Dogbert like kind of fucking was like, hey, hire this guy or something like that, because it wasn't. I didn't think I was going to get hired. It didn't look so good, and then all of a sudden it was like, oh, you start tomorrow. So I'm pretty sure somebody at
Yeah.
OC was like, oh, this guy.
It's like a
let's hire this
standing
guy.
500 Antho rule too, by the way. It's like if you're a Leo OC, like you're in. He's like, I will take you on a quick
Yeah,
ride
but
along.
I never would. I don't like using nepotism or anything. So I really tried for a long time. Once I decided I would do it, just to do it organically. Um, but then yeah, I got dispatched at the end of 2.0, and that was fun. And that's how I like kind of made my character. My character is really like anti what most other characters are as cop, because of like I came into dispatch, and it was like Claire, Everly, and Bundy and Hardcastle, and they're all like cool, like tactical, like chads. So I ran in, so like, I saw that, and I ran into the clothing real quick, and I got like a polka dot shirt, and that's why he has freckles and stuff. Like I didn't originally have that, and I was like, well, I don't want to be like all these people, so I gave him like freckles, and I made him like right there decided he was a virgin, and like all this stuff just to differentiate with all the other characters. So I just wanted to like make it different.
fun.
Dispatch was fun. I actually really liked that. And then 3.0 started, and they had the first police academy, and that was fun because there was like a lot of big streamers in there. It was like
I think
Lyric
Moon was
and
there for that one.
XQC, Moon, and all them.
Yeah, Kevin when he played his cop.
So it was fun. I enjoyed it, and then that's really when I switched over to like that was my main character when I got the cop in 3.0.
All right, I got some questions about being an IRL cop, and a cop in Nopixel. Do you ever find like one or the other sort of overlaying? Like, do you ever find when you're like at your actual cop job that you're like thinking about roleplay, like during like a very serious like an interaction with somebody? Is it ever in the back of your mind like, oh, like, my cop would do this, or could you imagine if Moosebeard was here?
Not in that sense. I've had like intense situations at work where I've almost called out my Nopixel policy on the radio, but I haven't. But not really. I mean, it's not. It really doesn't translate too much, other than like radio traffic or whatever. Because especially me, I do that on purpose. Like I really try to make that cop character like dumb and doesn't know
I
stuff.
got that
and
feeling.
I don't care. I don't want any rank or anything. I want to stay senior.
Just like Moosebeard.
That I just don't want my real life to bleed in too much, which it's like, oh, you're a cop and you're a cop in a video game. And it's like, so I really try to keep it different. So not really when it comes, like if I'm working on like a traffic stop or something, I just try to keep it like that. But it does bleed through sometimes, especially with like radio traffic, because like IRL policing, you don't get into pursuits a lot. So when you do, it actually like does help, because you're in pursuits every like 17 times a day in the server. So it's like sometimes you can tell like somebody gets in a pursuit and it's their first one in a while. They're like, oh my god, like, and
You're like smooth as butter calling it out.
and it's like, yeah, and then they're like, dude, what the like, you're a nerd. Like, have you been practicing that at your house? And I'm like, maybe. Like, I don't want to like tell them.
You're like, actually, I role play a cop 12 hours a day.
Yeah, no.
I go home and I'm doing this again too. So
yeah.
Do your colleagues know? Do your colleagues know what you do?
No, I've had close calls though, where like people will come in and be like, dude, there's this thing on Twitch. You know what Twitch is? And I'm like, yeah, I've heard of it. They're like, these guys,
like
they're
YouTube
playing
or...
Grand Theft Auto, and they're pretending it's real, and there's cops in there and stuff, and they're
fucking
like,
nerds.
I'm like, oh, really? No, I don't say that, but I'm like, really? That sounds cool. I've had 2 people talk about that.
Oh no, that's scary.
Like, that's funny.
Damn.
I'm like, man, that sounds cool, man. They're like, yeah, this guy, I watched Summit 1G. He's driving.
Never heard of
him.
him.
And I'm just like, yeah, that's cool, man.
Oh, Semitic? That sounds great.
That's funny. I would do the same thing. I would always like keep like work and play like a home life just completely separate. I just didn't want my coworkers to like know or like be watching my
That's the
stream
last thing
like
you
that.
want is your coworkers watching your stream when you're not at work, dude.
Yeah, I'm close with them too. Like, I have a lot of friends from work, but that would just be like, people wouldn't understand.
Oh yeah.
And I don't feel like explaining it to them.
And then like you might have to worry about you especially would have to worry about your higher ups like microing your streams to see if you're saying anything like weird. Like, oh god,
yeah.
no, that sounds you'd have to quit one or the other. I feel like if they found out. Like
it depends. Like, I mean, HR knows because as a cop, there's a lot of anti-corruption stuff. So you have to claim secondary income and stuff. So I was like, yeah, I'm an affiliate for this website, Twitch, and like I play video games sometimes, and they give me like a couple $100. It's like okay, whatever. Like, they didn't even know what I was talking about.
cool, you cam girl got it.
Yeah. So, but I just I try to keep that stuff separate.
Smart.
But there is a lot of like not like just my job. I'm talking to people like all the time, every day. And that translates in the RP, where it's definitely made me better. So I'm just used to talking to angry
I've seen
people,
that.
like very angry people, or people who are emotional or have had terrible things happen to them. And so I can translate that in the role play, where if something is really serious, I can turn that on or whatever.
How do you feel when you deal with people molding over pixels on the server? Considering that you've dealt
if
with
they're
it
actually
in real life.
mad, I don't feed into that. I just don't want to, like, if somebody's that angry that it's really IRL affecting them, I kind of nope out, or I'll just I'll find an excuse to get the interaction over with quick. I don't want to contribute to someone's bad day.
Oh, that's such a quotable thing. What a good wow. That's such a good like attitude. I've never sorry to interrupt, but it's just that's such a positive way of looking at it, because most people will say like, oh, if somebody's actually mad, like I don't want to be around that because it's cringe or whatever. But you're like I don't want to make their bad day worse. That's so wholesome.
Yeah, I mean, we're all people, you know. I don't like hate anybody. If they're having a bad time or a bad day, I'll try to get them out of there quick or whatever. And you know, you see that more as a cop, but it also helps that I'm not like a streamer. I've actually tried this year. I'm trying to go live like twice a week. And I don't care if I have any subs or whatever like that. So, I'm not trying to make content or to like make a ton of money doing that. So that helps, because you can turn molding into content. You can, and you can
there's some people who do it every day.
But I don't want to do that. I don't like if the dude is actually angry or sad or upset, I don't see. I won't. I'm not going to feed into that.
That's
I think that would be shitty. So I don't. So when people actually get mad, I just yeah, I'll just try to get them through it. I'll stop whatever's making them angry if I'm doing it, because I can be an asshole or irritating on Fitzpatrick. It's pretty easy. But but no, but then also like I can usually tell if they're just role playing, and it's pretty rare that somebody gets actually angry, because Fitz is kind of an L cop.
I've had in the last week, I don't know if they were F8 quits, but people has head popped in the middle of traffic stops as soon as I escalated to arresting them. Whenever that shit happens, I
I just
usually
leave.
get
I
out
just
of
leave.
there. Yeah,
Yeah,
I don't
yeah,
even tow nothing. I just get out of there.
Call it code 4 and
I'll
dip.
be honest.
and
Yeah, I'll
remember.
be honest. Sorry, go ahead.
Oh, I'll remember that, and I won't like blacklist people. If I know somebody doesn't want to RP with me, then I'll be very cordial with them, but I won't go out of my way to continue that. You know what I mean?
Yeah, because I feel like if you piss someone off, you're playing on the server, y- you're gonna have to get back on the server. You're probably gonna run into this person again, and it's not worth
Mhm.
the blowback. Even
Mhm.
it just makes everything weird.
Mhm.
That's why I try and
Yeah.
stay on good terms with everybody. As many people as like, I don't think I'm on bad terms with anybody on the server. I will be honest though, if any of the people that watch my Twitch channel are watching this podcast, I can see why people make people mold on the server while streaming, because Twitch chat feeds into that shit like crazy, man.
Oh yeah, it's a
They
business
spam
model, definitely.
F8, they spam phase up, they spam mold harder. One time someone offered to fucking give me 50 subs to get someone to tilt. And
Yeah,
I didn't
it's
Scrooge McDuck
Oh my
that shit out.
god.
I let them
yeah.
have their 50 subs. But yeah. One person that one person got really mad and they denied medical or something, and then they got reported and they got a 1 week ban off of that. And I felt bad because it was me who shot him. I was the one who put him in
Wait,
the
who
position in
got
the
a ban for
hospital.
what? Sorry, they denied.
I don't
Well, no,
I don't want to say any
they
names.
denied medical, and then the person who denied medical got in trouble.
No, he did like they didn't talk to the EMS, right? And it was because they got frustrated because of a frisk check I did.
Mm-hmm.
And they got mad, and then when you get mad, sometimes you just shut
Mhm.
up. You don't say anything because you
Yeah.
don't want to
Sure.
say the wrong thing.
And
Mhm.
like some people, they're just having a bad day. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? And they're like, I won't get on Nopixel if I'm not in a good mood or if I don't feel creative. But some people, that's their life. Like they're making money
Yes.
to do that. And I have to think about that. So if somebody's just having a bad day, I don't want to fuck their life up
Mhm.
by continuing like, oh, you're pushing, I'm gonna fuck your mom or something. Like if they're really mad, I'll just be like, hey man, it's cool. Like, I'm gonna take you, we'll process you, I'll put you in the big cell. I just, I'm just trying to be a good guy. I'm not trying to be a
Mhm.
dickhead. But
I w-
I'm not
I
making
wish
money on this either. So you have to think about it both ways, I guess.
I wish more people had that sentiment. Even if you're making money on it, uh, if you're not having a good day, don't go on the server.
Yeah.
Or don't bring that energy onto the server. Even if you're making money, because if you come onto the server and you're having a bad day, that shit's palpable.
Yeah, you can feel it.
Yeah.
And
happens to
yeah, you can
everybody.
feel it. Yeah, and I feel like you shouldn't bring that type of when you're in that headspace. Don't go on the server, and I mean go on the server, but don't bring that shit on the server.
Like everyone on
This is bad.
Instagram is happy and has a perfect life, but that's not how it
Yeah.
actually is. You know what I mean? So if you're playing and there's 200 people in the server, you need to think about everyone, not just yourself. And if you're gonna bring people down, or if you're having a bad day, if you're just in a bad mood, it's gonna affect other
Mhm.
people. But me personally, I don't want to contribute that either. So I'll just I won't nope out and I won't be like, fuck you, man, I'm out of here. But I'll just, you know, I'll just be an adult about it
Mhm.
and get them through it. So that part of my job, my IRL job, but go back to the original question, it does make it easier. You can't expect a lot of people to, they're not used, like somebody who's like, fuck you, and you get the vibe that they're IRL mad at you. That might not happen all the time. It happens to me 7 times a day. So I'm like, I'm good at navigating through that, I guess.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, you've got literal training and not escalate. Do you?
Yeah.
I noticed you said like when people are actually like molding or upset, you leave. Have you ever like felt like, hey, I actually have the skills to potentially de-escalate this here. I might use my real life training to de-escalate this, or do you go, I'm not at work right now, I'm not gonna do this?
Oh no, I'll talk through it. Definitely. I have, and some people know that like I'm kind of chill or whatever. So we'll have like people in the cells who are pissed. Oh, I got spam taser, this or that, and I'll just start making jokes or shooting the
Mhm.
shit. And you can de-escalate that. And but then like you'll have it de-escalated, and somebody else will walk up and be like, I fucking tased you, you dumb. And then it just goes back up
Immediately.
again.
Yeah.
So it's like,
Have I
no,
done that to you?
Oh, I
feel
was
like
just gonna say that sounds like a karma move.
no,
If
I'm
I
not
did
calling
that to
him
you, I'm
out
sorry.
specifically, but I've never really seen anyone actually mauled at Carmine. I'm sure it happened. I get irritated when like we'll just I'll be like RPing with Carmine, and then someone will just like come up out of nowhere and be like, "Fuck you, you dumb bitch," and I'll be like, "Okay,
Like,
Yeah.
all right.
you guys hate this man."
I'm
I
gonna feed my
was
dogs. I'm gonna feed
Alright.
my dogs.
I was always glad that Carmine's character came in when he did in the LSPD, because if he came in earlier in a different department,
Mhm.
he would probably get
Oh,
fucking
yeah.
fired like immediately.
Yeah.
Can we talk?
I feel like perfect storm, man.
Oh, yeah.
I joined at the perfect time. I joined the right department at the right time. The right people
Yeah.
looking out for me. Like 90% of the reason I still have a cop is because of Sab. You know, he like I remember my first month as a cop, he DM'd me and he said, "You need to relax," like 3 times.
Like, hey, chill out, man.
Like, yo, chill,
Yeah,
chill,
did
chill.
I relax?
Of course
I don't.
not.
I don't know if I did. I mean, I say I try at some. Like I'm on a winder, right? Like a. You know those signs at construction sites where it says it is this many days till an
Yeah.
accident?
Till an accident.
I have that, but with fuck ups, and it never passes 5 days. Never passes
so
5
funny.
days. I saw Francis 2 days ago.
Yeah, I wanted to
3
talk
days ago,
about
I said.
this. You and Tinker popped off, killed. Like, okay, you just want to run us through it?
Okay, so Tinker's going through a lot of shit, right, on his character. And actually, can we save this for the end?
Sure, sure.
Yeah. I want to ask Hoffhand something though. SDSO compared to LSPD, or when you left the LSPD, what are some of the noticeable differences roleplay wise that you noticed?
I mean, there's more freedom up there. I really wanted to go when it first started, but again, I was like, this is a little cringe. These are all my friends. Like, I RP'd on my crib with all these people. When COVID hit, I got very close to these people, like OC. You couldn't leave your fucking house.
Yep.
We would just play games in
Mhm.
Discord and stuff. And these are like, I consider a lot of those people my actual friends now. And I was like, I would love to play with them immediately. It would be like lock QPD, but that's kind of cringe. Like, and I had RP where I had LSPD tattooed like on my chest and stuff. So I was like, I couldn't leave. So, I stayed LSPD and I had fun. And then finally, like, when the split and like, I guess Hydra, when you said you were like really close to Seb, I was like that with Bass. Like, I was like, everyone would give Bass shit. And I'd be like, fuck you, man. Like, you fucking traitor. And then, so when Bass went to the state, that was kind of like, that started the arc of like, oh,
Yeah.
I was abandoned and stuff like that. And
You
then,
meant Pred. I was really close to Pred.
oh yeah,
Yeah.
sorry. You like how you were close to Pred, I was close to Bass. Like he's like the cool, experienced guy who can drive well and
Yeah,
talk
yeah,
well
yeah.
and stuff like that. So like Fitzpatrick kind of latched onto that. So then when he went to the state, I was like, all right, here's how it makes sense to go to the SDS. So I didn't want to just go because all my friends were there. And so when that happened, I started it, and then it's like it is more freeing, really, because like I've always said there's like too much rank in Ellis, and not in the PD in general. Like you'll have like 7 corporals trying to tell you what to do when they override the other one and stuff like that. That doesn't happen up there
Mhm.
really. I like that, and it's just I don't know. It's just more. It's less strict, but they trust you as well. Like they're not going to trust. Like they're not going to let you be as free if they think you're going to fuck things
Yeah.
up.
I wanted to join SDSO. It was new when I tried to join it, and Willie was like, "Yeah, come over," and I did. And I just don't think Mantis knew me very well, and so I kind of got pushed to the wayside. But that was my first choice. I always thought SDSO would be the perfect place for Hydra, and then Pred sort of took me under his wing, and I really appreciated that, and I gave him a lot of role play out of that.
I think OOC I would have a more fun time if I went immediately, but it didn't make sense in character, and I thought it was a little cringe. like everyone's going, I should keep it, like, especially after like I got tattoos and stuff. Like I just think it didn't make sense right away, but I had always intended to go once it made
Mhm.
sense. And when
Yeah.
Bass went to the state, that's when it made sense. So
I
it
love
is fun.
I love character traits that go against what you as a person want to do. Like I wanted to join the SDSO initially on my character Carmine because I felt like survivability, the way I roleplay, the type of shit I do, I'm not gonna make it in these other departments. Maybe the SDSO I'll make it a little bit longer. I might still get fired, but I'll make it a little bit longer.
Mhm.
But the roleplay led me into the fucking by the books serious cop department. on the server.
I was
at
so
the time.
nervous when you actually joined that department. I was like, oh no.
Even Saab was Bash was telling me when I said I wanted to join the LSPD, he was like, "Are you sure you want to join the LSPD? SDSOs, you should probably join the SDSO. They might be better for you." And I said, "No, this is a ship I sink with," and
I'm
went
not a
with
fan
it.
of that. That mentality of like, okay, if you're a character, you got to go to this one department.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't know. It's just, I get it
Yeah.
because like the departments all have their own like feel, their own, you know, LSPD's always been like more of the like serious, realistic cops, right? Where and then BCSO originally was the kind of sillier sheriffs, right? Obviously, it's branched out since then, but it's like the Moosebeard gets it a lot. Oh, you should have been an SDSO cop. Well, I mean, CPD needs characters
Mhm.
too. We can't just can't all be.
It can't just be
tryhards.
Pred, right?
And
Yeah,
just because you're like an ex-pirate or whatever, it doesn't mean you're not serious either. Like, people,
ex-pirate.
they see, well, Marinere. I don't know how they call it. But they're like, people, I've seen people assume that you're like a dumb fuck. And I'm like, I don't really see that. He just says ahoy and stuff. And he knows
It's actually
how to
like by the
use a
books a
compass.
great cop.
I know. So I don't understand.
He's
I
a
never really
SRU
understood that.
speed junkie. I mean,
It's true. And he only learned to drive 3.5 years ago. So
You're just gonna differentiate that. But if I was like a full-time streamer, I probably would have switched earlier, but it just didn't make sense. And I didn't want to just do something to do it.
Hmm.
But I'm glad I did it now. I'm having fun.
Hell yeah. That's awesome, man. What do you think because people have been talking about Nopixel Classic now, they've been talking about hardcore, just regular whitelist. Do you think there's an environment where you as a role player would feel more comfortable or do better?
Well, classic will be fun. I mean, and that, classic, I was like doing, like hitting banks and doing all that stuff. I'd be more familiar with the classic stuff, but I'll probably just do that to mess around with friends. I think hardcore is. I'm looking forward to that. I'm gonna main criminal in that, and I just don't have a ton of time to do all of it together. So I'm probably just gonna pick one that I enjoy the most and do that. Like I got a family. I work a lot, so I got to give my family the time they deserve. I work a lot, and then with the time I have left over, yeah, I'll play some game. I'll play video games, and then I have other hobbies and stuff I do too. I just can't fit it all together.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna try everything out, and whatever I like is that's what I'm gonna stick with.
I like that. It's a good call.
I just realized Nopixel Classic abbreviation is NPC.
Nice. That is
great.
nice.
You got him.
I heard a little bit about this. There's something about wanting to use more like 2.0 mechanics, like it be less like how 3.0 is right now. So people are thinking like less S plus cars and less like differentiation between classes and things like that.
Yeah, it's going to be simpler. The police force wise, they've said they want it to be simpler, but then the crime is simpler too. Like with the banks and the heists and stuff like that. It's not. There's no apps or anything like that. You just need to get a bank card and use it at the correct time, or a purple card for the jewelry store. Thermite for the vault and certain things. It depends on which iteration. Like the vault used to not be that hard to get the equipment for, and then later in 2.0 it was. So it just depends on what iteration it is. But the crime will be easier. And the petty crime, there's a lot more of it. I've always been a
love
proponent of
petty crime, dude. So
Yeah.
good.
Especially like non-mechanical crime, like something that doesn't have like a specific like mechanic to it, like robbing a clothing store and stealing clothes, or just creating a crime based off something that wasn't coded into the game.
Yeah, like
but it's
house
still like a
robberies.
realistic
I did
crime.
apply. Did you guys all apply? These guys talked to me into it before the show to apply for Classic Cop.
Wait,
No,
you
I
gotta
haven't.
apply?
Not yet.
Yeah, on the forum.
Yeah, it's on the.
It's
Yeah, I think Han put a thing in.
Yeah. It is on the Nopixel GTA Classic public servers section, and you go down to Leo applications. When they put why did you stop being a cop? Do you guys think this sounds too salty? Because I already submitted it. I agreed to a roleplay suspension and then was fired. OOC. Oh no, and then was subsequently fired. That's what it was.
Like in 2.0, I love the petty crime. Like the you could rob every storefront in the South Side, so you'd have to worry about the cops. You'd have to worry about
Southside
GSF.
gangbangers. Oh man.
Like, oh man, do you know J Dot?
Yo yeah.
Yep.
That dude is so immersive. He would
Oh,
literally
yeah.
like almost scare me IRL. Like he'd be like, "What you doing?" Like you catch
Mhm.
robbing a house, and I love those type of role players who you feel like you're there. He like it almost feels real. He's really good at that. So is like Netty Machete, like people like that, where it's like you're like they
Ooh.
make you step your game up. And he would catch me like fucking around the South Side, and it was so I've never had more fun. Like you're like, oh fuck, man, is GSF around? Like we're gonna go rob these houses or these stores, and like oh man, he was fucking hunting for me yesterday. I need to look out, and you'd fucking see his car, and you'd be like, oh, hide behind the thing. It was fucking great, man.
That's awesome.
I loved petty 2.0 crime. It really that's what got me hooked. For playing the game, to be honest. So I do kind of miss that instead of like you have to go sign in somewhere and do this for that and wait for an email. Like I just want to go out and do some
Mhm.
crime, please.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
I like that.
That's one thing
So-
I didn't like about 3.0 is how simulated the roleplay. It's like the server's holding a hand step by step, like an MMORPG. You know how MMORPGs have like mission statements that you gotta quotas you gotta hit. That's how it was. That's how it is now with some of the crime.
Mhm.
It,
So-
there's no nuance or freedom.
So yeah, I was
or
forced to change my
creativity.
criminal because of that. Because I might have 2 hours to do this, and I'll have to get a whole crew, and we'll have to get an email and do and this and that. So I definitely am more. I don't do like jobs on my crim like I used to do now. Like I wish I had more time. Like I did get access to like secondary access to like a gun bench and stuff when I was doing that for a while.
That's
but
awesome.
I just
Wait, weren't you supplying like Big Pussy or something like that?
not directly. I don't want to like get people's
No, yeah,
secrets
of
out there,
course.
but
Yeah.
I was helping out with some of that stuff and some other things, and like I was like selling handcuffs for a while, but I just don't have the time. And I've been enjoying cop a lot, so I just I had a lot of good stuff in 2.0 going crim wise, and I just chose cop, I guess.
So on the topic of 2.0, we skimmed over a little something we typically like to ask people on the show. Your application process. Who did you apply
Oh,
with?
yeah.
And how many applications did it take you?
I just got the one in he's actually a cop now, he's called Hachi, but he used to be called Strictly Victor. He got me in. He plays Johnny Fahrenheit
Oh, okay,
Yep.
okay.
in CPD. He did my application, but I took it real slow. Like every day I'd answer like half a question or whatever.
Yeah.
So it took me like a week and a half, and I made sure it wasn't
He's
like
been
too long.
part of the app team for a long freaking time. Then
Is he still doing it?
he's still doing it. Yeah, he's
Nice,
still
man.
listed
Yeah,
as being an
he
app
was
team
nice.
member.
So it took like a week and a half, and I submitted it, and I got in. It was funny. I was actually on vacation. I was in Philly, and I got an email, and I was like, "Oh damn!" I didn't think. I was just like, because people were like, "Oh, I'm on my 4th or 5th or whatever."
Right.
So I just figured it. I'd try to make it well written, but I was surprised when I got in, and I immediately like after the vacation, like I downloaded everything to get it ready.
Oh yeah.
It was fun because like I knew about GTA and roleplay. Like I used to watch Twitch and on the other servers, like with what the hell's his name? He was a cop. He was like full of drama with like the old lean boys, and I'd watch that. And then I kind of forgot about it for a while, and then I saw Summit playing on Nopixel, and then I was like watched it. I was like, I can do that. Like, I'm not the best at video games, but I can talk. I'm a good talker, and that's why I applied. And I'm glad I did. Because usually I'll try to pick up like hobbies and stick with them for a while. But this is by far I've been doing this for more than 4 years now, so I've stuck with this for a long time, and I enjoy it.
It's been a lot longer than the model trains that you've been playing with.
Yeah, actually, I just got into making pizza at home.
Oh,
Really?
cool.
That's my new hobby. Yeah, I got pans and
Do
everything.
you got like
It's
a
nuts.
do you got like
Okay.
a oven stone, or what do you got?
I have a stone. And I have pans to make like bar style
Yeah.
pizza and stuff. I'm
What's
going
your
nuts.
favorite pizza to make right now? I think this is super interesting.
Well, I'm from South Shore, Massachusetts, and they have like their own style of pizza. They call it South Shore bar style.
Talk to me.
And I miss that from where I grew up. So I make it like that, where it's just using more cheddar cheese and you put the sauce and the cheese all the way to the end, so there's like no crust.
Right.
Oh, okay. So
I
you
don't
just
know.
you sauce
You
it all the
gotta
way.
live
So
there.
you're
Yeah,
that's like when people butter their toast but they don't put it on the edges. That's how like regular pizza feels, right? Like, what are you
Yeah.
doing? Where's this? Why does it go to the end?
So I always try to like do different things and have new hobbies and stuff like that. So
Dude,
that
one
was
of my life goals is actually to make like a brick oven in the backyard, like, you know, like a concrete handmade like brick oven where you can cook pizzas, and like it's got like a spot for like a wok, like a big wok, so you can cook for like a bunch of people.
Mhm.
It's on my
That'd be
bucket
awesome.
list.
I always try to like in my life not to get like too stagnant, but
Can I talk about a thing? So you're talking about forging and other hobbies and stuff. It's something I've wanted to bring up for a while. I talked to my stream a little bit about it. I don't know if I mentioned it on the last podcast, but I wanted to just say it out loud. I've been streaming for a fair bit, with I would call it middling success. Right, we've made some money. Right, we've made some viewership. We've had some regulars. But I think, especially with the whole being fired from PD, sort of like everybody always talks about how like Nopixel, it can all just end, right? Like it can just go away. That's streaming in general, but like especially on Nopixel, where the viewers are very character centric and their attitude can sort of change on a whim. So I sat down and talked to my partners about like, you know, where I was and if I was happy, and if, you know, if they were happy with what I was doing. And of course they're very supportive, but I feel like I haven't, in the amount of time that I've put into streaming, like time and money, I haven't really seen a great return on my investment, other than with like good friends, like with 52 and Troms. And this podcast was a huge, great return, right? This is something I want to do forever. But one important thing is that I think it's time that I admit to myself that maybe I'm not going to be, you know, Summit 1G, right? And I never really thought that, but I'm not seeing the success I thought I could at this point. And so I'm giving myself one more year of streaming. So until the end of this year. And if I'm not paying my rent with my streaming, we're going to hang it up. I'm still going to play on Nopixel. I'm still going to stream for fun occasionally, but it's not going to be, you know, 6, 7, 8 hour streams anymore. You know, streaming is not going to be the thing that I do to make money. It'll just be it'll just be a hobby that I have, but not the hobby that I invest myself into anymore. Because that's what it's been this whole time. It's been a hobby that I've been investing myself into to try to do better, to turn into a career. And it's just not turning out the way that I thought it would, or that I wanted it to. And I can't keep doing it and hoping that suddenly one day I'll pop off again. That's not like a great business strategy, right? So I love it to death, and I love playing on Nopixel, and I love streaming, and I love the community. But if I'm not able to start paying the bills, at least partially, you know, with streaming, we gotta hang it up. So while we were talking about, it's sad, and
that's what I did when I left my job.
Yeah.
Too. I was gonna leave my job anyway, but I was like, you know what, I'm doing streaming as a hobby. Let's give it I got some savings. Let's give it some time. You know, if after 1 year it's not working out, then I'm done. I'll hop back in the workforce. You know, I've got talents, I've got skills, I've got a great resume. It's like I could literally work anywhere. So it's not like I'm out of a job. I didn't want to work for the company I was with anymore. So
yeah, that's healthy mindset to have. Like, I never went into this to stream. I never really, you know, to make it now. You gotta do like YouTube videos now, like TikToks and all this stuff. And it was a hobby. I like to have fun, and I made friends. And you know, I have a PC that can stream, so I go live sometimes. But I never intended or tried to do that. But from what you're saying, it sounds like it sounds healthy, and you never know. Like you could have something that really sticks, and it could go. But if it doesn't, you had a good time and you can still continue to do it. But then, um, you just move on to something
Yeah.
else. I mean,
Yeah.
So this year, I'm going to focus on doing some really interesting things, and I guess this is the pre-announcement announcement. I want to start doing game shows on Twitch. I want to start doing like get a couple guests, have actual prizes. People show up on their webcams just like this, and then we have a 30-minute game show. Probably takes an hour and a half to record or whatever, but there's questions, there's challenges, there's fun, there's real prizes at the end. It's comedy, it's fun. It's something I've always wanted to do, but I've always been like, oh, I'm streaming Nopixel. I can't, I've got concurrent viewership and slow growth. Let's just keep doing that. But it's just not working anymore. So I just want to try other things like in this like last year. It's kind of like I got a year to live, it kind of feels like. And I also started taking some blacksmithing classes. So making some stuff, like it's really fun. I'm just like trying new things, and I love Nopixel and I love the streaming, and but I think it's just time for new things.
So Nopixel is weird. Like I noticed it like dangles the carrot.
You're so
like,
close always.
Like you can play WoW and stream to one person for years, but then you go to Nopixel and you're gonna make affiliate almost immediately. Like some people, they try forever to make affiliate, but if you play in Nopixel, you put that in your title. Like I taught myself how to stream, and I put I got 50 followers in like a day and a half. So
Yeah.
and some people, they stream forever trying to get to there. So it's like you see this like, oh, this is way easier than normal Twitch, and it is. It really is. Like I always like if anyone would be like, hey, I'm trying to start streaming, I'm like, dude, you need to like learn how to like learn the Nopixel meta and get in there, and you'll get it so much quicker. But then like to actually like make it, it's real hard. So it's like it's easier, and then you kind of like can plateau, and it's got to be hard. Like I don't know, like you just need lightning to strike, and you can't. I don't care how good you are, you can't get there on your own. You have to be supported.
100%.
That's what that's what I feel like the NoPixel streaming group is. It's just your audience is a bunch of other people's audiences mushed into now your audience. And that's how the NoPixel meta works.
Definitely. I made like when I was doing stuff with Penta or Buddha or Moon, or now like I have this thing going with Sizz. That's like the people who come in when I'm streaming. There's like a couple people that like, oh, they've been around forever, but most of it is, especially me, because I'm only live once or twice a week. It's the communities that you're interacting with.
Yeah.
And so I'm very cognizant to not overstep my welcome or to like make it unnatural. Like, oh, that person, I want to RP with them, but like I really will, like, if you're a big streamer, I will avoid the fuck out of you unless it makes sense. Like I will run away. Oh my god, the other day it was so cringe. I thought Roy was at the MRPD parking lot, but it was XQC, and he has the same haircut and his cop.
Oh,
and I
no.
ran over it, and I wasn't signed in the copy. I was getting ready to tackle him, and he turns around, he's like, "Hey, what the fuck?" And I was like, "Oh!" And I fucking ran away. I'm like, I am not gonna be one of those fucking people. I'm like, "Oh, hey, thought you were Roy." Later, and I fucking ran away. I was like, I'm not like that. I'm such an anti-clout. Like I don't want. If it doesn't make sense, I will leave you the fuck alone, streamer or no streamer. But that, I was like, oh my god, I'm gonna be one of those people who just runs up to XQC. I was like, holy fuck, I got the fuck out of there. It was so fucking funny. I was like, I'm so cringe. I am so cringe.
That's so funny.
It was hilarious. I thought it was fucking Roy.
I agree with the
really is
statement,
like.
though.
Go ahead.
I agree with the statement that Twitch has, as a platform, it has no discoverability. Right now, Twitch is promoting, its streamers to go bring people in from other platforms onto Twitch. Because Twitch itself knows discoverability on Twitch is dog shit compared to YouTube or TikTok. Doesn't get if you're playing a game like Valorant or League of Legends, and you're sitting at one view.
Unless you're Shroud, you're not popping off.
Even if you're Shroud, you're not popping off unless you're in like in esports circles where there's exposure and there's other people who have big audiences who see you because you're in that circle. That's what Nopixel is. Esports, Nopixel, these big communities. If you get into these communities, that's where the exposure is, and it kind of fixes the problem Twitch has without you having to actually do work outside of Twitch. And so, yeah, that's one thing good Nopixel's good at. And but I'll also like that there's a lot of RNG as well. RNG and consistency. You just have to get lucky and be consistent while getting
I've had
lucky.
month-long storylines just because I like had a car crash into somebody or something. It's You just sometimes it works out, sometimes it
Mhm.
doesn't. But
Yeah.
as a whole, I think it's mostly a good community of people who are trying to support each other, and it's good. I just as long as it's organic,
Yep.
I think I've had a good time so far.
Another thing I want to add is I feel like streaming and viewerships and the right number you see by your channel, or when you check your analytics and you see the numbers, that shit fucks with you, and if it probably makes most people like enjoy roleplay just a little bit less because those
Mhm.
numbers are not always going to be good,
Mhm.
right?
Mm-hmm.
And
I get happy when 10 people show up. So like if I have like 150 viewers, I'm like, what the fuck? You know what I
Same.
mean? I just don't expect anyone to show up. So when they do, but as I said before, I'm not trying to make money off of it. I don't really even want to be a streamer. People use a Prime sub, but like, what are you doing? Like, use an anyway. What are you doing?
hey, what
So
are you
it's
doing
like,
giving it to him? Come over and
yeah, what
give
are you
it to
doing?
me instead.
To 52 channel. So I have that different mindset. So I have to like think like this isn't really my thing. I'm just doing it because I'm a nerd and I build computers for fun. So I have like a nice PC and I can do it, and my friends do it. But um I can see where that is. Like I see the discoverability. Like who's gonna search? Like you're just gonna see what's on the front page. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
Mhm.
Like somebody I found people on the front page like music streamers. They're like featured on the front page, and I've followed them forever. But that's really it. Like you don't. It's not like suggest, hey, watch this person, this person. Like your community has to like pay for that and stuff. So it's hard to get found on Twitch. I'm not sure about. I don't really watch a lot of live streaming on other platforms, but I see where that's coming from. If you're making a living out of it, it's gonna fucking suck if it's not working out.
Yeah.
It's like that's where the NoPixel like meta comes in, right? Because people like websites like Hashthrough, for example, really. When I check my analytics, I'm pretty sure like 40% of the people that come from to my channel come from like Hashthrough and stuff.
Oh yeah.
And
Oh, yeah.
Yeah,
there's like a big for the people who don't know, it's this website that just shows everybody who's streaming on NoPixel has the word NoPixel in their title. And it's that's like that's why NoPixel is like such a meta, because it's just everybody's on this train trying to ride to the top together.
Mhm.
We're all just kind of juggling each other up.
you have to have the right title, like no pixel, whitelist, police
3.0
officer.
Wait,
Um,
what?
you have to
PD,
have
like 3.0 PD, like
you have to have the right
a
title for
character
that.
name in there too.
Well,
Like
52. Carmine's an epidemic, so you don't have to worry about him.
No, I have a mod that knows about Hazard, and he set up the title for me.
Oh, okay.
God knows. Listen, if
What
I
do
was
you
in
do
on
for
this
your
on my
stream?
own,
What do you
nothing.
even do?
I just switch it on. Pretty much
the
it.
guy, the only thing he does, he clicks the go live button, dude. That's all
Yeah.
he does.
This
Yeah.
That's
fucking
funny.
guy.
So I want to touch back a little bit on what Hydra was saying with like, giving some time to see if Twitch becomes a thing. I think it's super important we talk about this as well, but we recently had somebody leave the Twitch scene and the NoPixel scene to go do something far more important.
Mhm.
And I'm sure you guys know what I'm talking about. It's cath Far. For those of you who don't know, earlier this week, cath, actually I think it's like today or something like that, but it happened yesterday for most of us, is leaving the NoPixel scene and the Twitch scene to essentially go volunteer in Ukraine, or for Ukraine. She's from Wales, so it's not her home country at all. But she's volunteering her time and her efforts to be able to go there and help out. And yesterday we had a bit of a send off, right? Like there was a PD meeting that happened earlier on in the day, and I knew about it in advance. I knew that the meeting was happening. I knew that she was leaving. But once the meeting started, it got me feeling a certain way. Like just memories and like just everything with her being like such an inspirational cop to a guy who is traditionally very goofy and very silly. I always looked up to her as being somebody who that's how to do it right. Like if you want to do it right, that right there is how to do it right. And she was always very good about being a hard ass, but not being too much of a hard ass, right? Like she was very, very hard, but she'd always check in and make sure that she didn't like take it too far or something like that. So I do want to bring that up. I want to get your guys' thoughts on that. But I also want to say that for those of you who watch this podcast, we typically don't affiliate anything with it. We don't we don't have like a charity or anything like that. But since we do have a bit of a platform here, I would like to just say that if anybody is interested in helping out Cath and also in turn what's going on overseas for most of us on Fit in a Hill here and Chains, I guess. You can check out her Twitter and check out her social media and whatnot. You can find
I'll
links
actually
there
post those in
for
the show
how to
notes.
help support. Yeah, well, we get show notes, real show notes this time, guys. It's real.
Real.
The show notes are real.
Yeah, it was tough yesterday. I showed up. I made sure.
And just while we're on it, there's a Patreon, patreon.com/cathfawr, CATHFAWR. Go check it out.
So we got all the HBTU guys. Like Fitz, I don't know how, because he's such a dork, but he got in. It was almost like an OSC thing. Like when people have in the server have questions about like cop stuff, they hit me up, like realism questions or whatever. So
Right.
I helped with that unit, and they just put me in it. So like this is weird. I have to transition like this dork to like SWAT guy.
Yeah.
But they embraced me. So we all got together. We're like, all right, well, Cath's going to be at the meeting. Let's put on the HBTU stuff.
Yeah.
After the whole the SWAT canceling and stuff like that, we toned down the we just didn't want it. We wanted to keep the unit, but we didn't want it to get taken away. So we toned down some of the stuff that we were doing.
Yeah.
But it's still there, and we still serve warrants and stuff. But I know Cath really loved that, so we all showed up with the vests on and stuff, and it was good.
That's
Plus,
awesome.
it's like I don't talk about myself like a lot, but I was in the military for like 8 years, so I know like I've been deployed overseas. It sucks.
Yeah.
So I was like, I don't know what she's getting into, like that. Like it's a totally different situation, but it's like I was bummed out. I was like, man, this sucks. But she's a strong woman. She knows what she's getting into. She can handle it.
I don't think there's a certain or any person out there who knows her that will say that she's not fit for it.
Oh yeah.
Like if I had to say who was like, who's better to go, me or her, dude, it's her. Like 1,000,000,000%. I would love to, but I'm not cut out for it. I would crack. I would mentally, physically. I just could not compete with her.
She's a machine.
I was bummed out yesterday, man. So I made sure to show up.
I think it fucked everybody up pretty hard.
I was like, hey, just be careful and all that stuff.
You said this because I watched the VOD of the HBTU talk you guys had. And the only thing that really stuck with me is you saying like, keep your helmet on, don't be a hero. And that was like,
yeah, that wasn't role play. That was just me talking.
Yeah, that was like shit. Like that was for me like the moment where I was like, this is real. Like
it
this
is
100%. It's very real.
Yeah,
and that's scary to think about.
It's like Varanus. I'm sure I'm pronouncing that wrong. Who plays Metzger? He even tweeted out at her, and he's said something very similar. He's like, "Keep your head down," right?
Yeah, he's an active duty captain in the military.
Yeah,
he's like, I was like a enlisted guy. I was like a staff sergeant, but Varanus, like, he's got a whole company of people.
Yeah, he's up there.
He knows what she's getting into more than anyone. He's a good dude. But I just, it bummed me out, and I made sure I was there and talked with her, and hopefully, she's gonna be fine.
Yeah, I think if there's anybody who's gonna just be okay, I mean, we can all hope it's her, but it's gonna be her. It will be.
Oh yeah.
I feel bad for them.
They don't know, man. They don't know.
I'm not sure what she's gonna be, and she's not gonna tell because
right.
You really, that is real. Like you share too much on social media, you're gonna get an airstrike on you. So whatever she does, I'm sure she's gonna be great.
The other guys watching her like HBTU stuff, like fuck.
They're like, God damn it, yeah.
Fuck.
We're
done for.
But this is like, okay, I don't want to. This is not designed to be negative, okay? And I don't want anybody to like go like, oh, Hydra's saying some like dumb shit. People die. People go to Ukraine to help and they die. Cath, this is not like a publicity stunt. This is not Cath trying to go do something cool for views or attention. she's literally stepping away from her job, her career, to go and try to help people. Like, there was like the joke around like whenever she got like suspended or lost her thing, she was like too gun happy and something, I don't remember what it was, but like too trigger happy and something else. She's literally the exact opposite. She's literally she's going to, like, I don't want to say be a hero because I know she would hate that. She's literally putting herself in harm's way to go help people because they're running out of people that can help them. And like, who does that? Who does that? Name a person you know that's done that. I think we all probably just know the one, right? And it's Cath. And that's crazy. Like, what a fucking legend. So.
And she's not going like, this isn't like some decision. Like, if you follow her, she's very smart.
Oh, and she's a trained soul. Like, she knows this stuff. Like, this is her thing. I know she's not just randomly going over there.
Stuff.
I'm just saying, like, this is serious. It's serious that she's doing this. It's not a joke. It's not for fun. It's real and it's scary. You know, we care about people, and it's just like, I want people to realize, like, when they're like making dumb jokes on Twitter because people are doing that, like, this person's putting themselves in harm's way for people who need it and can't give her anything in return, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, you can always expect the internet to have bad takes. Like that's the one constant. It's like the sun coming up, but no, she knows what she's getting into, and it's real admirable she's doing it.
That's all. I was just trying to say that she's just being a fucking legend. Yeah.
I thought Snow's speech was very on point. As soon as oh man, I think a bunch of people cracked as soon as Snow referred to her as a cath instead of Vale.
Oh yeah, dude, it's weird because that set the tone for the rest of the day, and I feel like a lot of people were just like, oh, Snow went slightly out of character. That's the rest of the day for me.
Yeah.
I didn't want to like talk in front of everybody. Like, that wasn't my place. I just wanted to talk to her and make sure she knows that we all support her and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Who's cutting onions, man?
On lighter topics.
Yeah.
Yeah. I had to bring it up.
Thank you, dude. Really.
Honestly, it's just too important.
It was yesterday. Like, I'm still bummed out.
I honestly, I knew it was happening. I wanted to be there, but I didn't. You know, I'm not on the PD right now. My character didn't know Vale very well. I've never had really many interactions with Cath or Vale. A lot of respect for the person. Obviously, I've always said nothing but good things about her, but I just didn't. It didn't feel like, if I was going there, I wanted to go there to show support, but I didn't want people to think that I was going there just to be in the picture. So I just stayed out.
Yeah, I didn't know her that well until when she ran DOC. I applied and met with her and stuff like that, but not until she came back, and I got to know her through that. And she seems like just a unique, like, just good person.
100%
for herself.
I think a lot of times her clips, you only ever see clips of hers like upset, right? She'll get mad, and so you're like, oh, finally she's upset. I can clip this and put it on the compilation or put it on where. I've watched a couple of her streams, especially after I had some really fun interactions with her GSF character. Dude, she's really funny too. If you just, when she's like in her element and doing her thing, like when she's just vibing, it's super funny.
She had a stream, I want to say like 4 or 5 months ago, where for the first like hour and a half, she just did stand-up comedy. She had like a microphone and everything. She's like standing there holding her like AT 2020 in her hands, and she was just doing stand-up, like actual stand-up. And I thought it was great.
Dude, how sick would it be? I think a perfect career transition would be to go from roleplay on Nopixel to actually being a stand-up comic, because that's what half the people want to do, is be stand-up comics, and they're just bad at it. But she actually is like very funny.
Good at that.
Everybody thinks they'll be good at it. You only become good at it after doing it for years. Is pretty much.
Yeah. Just like showing up and stuff. I always thought. So I've always been like good at just with talking with people and like making dumbass jokes. But I'm sure it's gonna be something that it's just like any trade. You just gotta really work at it and stuff.
I don't know why, like guys like you just have such a good delivery for things. Like another example is like Bobby Boulderman.
Oh,
like his delivery on some stuff is just too freaking funny.
I ran into him for the first time in the courthouse yesterday. I couldn't stop laughing.
I don't know if it's like
love Bobby.
It's
I
like
love him.
the deadpan delivery on certain things that just
His-
absolutely kills me.
His voice and his mic and everything. It all
It's
works
so
in.
good.
That's like I always tell everyone, like, the first thing if you want to get on Nopixel is make sure you have like a good mic and good audio.
Oh
It's-
yeah,
you're halfway there. Like,
there's a. I remember the time like when I was still DOC, I had some DOC people apply for PD and they just got flat out denied because their mic quality wasn't good
Yeah.
enough.
Oh yeah. Well, we can. Well, I don't know if everybody can view it, but I'm able to see like who, when DOC give out applications, or not DOC. When Dispatch give out applications, they
Yeah.
usually put like a little blurb in, like a little, this is what I thought of them in the brief time, and like there's so many that are like shit mic, terrible mic.
yeah, you're halfway there.
The
you're
thing
gonna
is, like,
do
it's
that.
true because I my character went to the DOC Academy that happened like last week, and there's like 6 guys in a row, and it was all like they were talking through a microwave, and it's like, oof, like if I'm playing on the server, and some guy pulls me over, and he's like, I don't know, he just sounds like he's in a tin can, zapped out immediately, just
Yeah.
gone.
He even
Immersion is
made like a meme character once where he was using his webcam mic and his name was like, before Paul Eastman, I think it was like policeman or police officer was the name of the character. He's like, I want to be a cop, and it was his webcam mic. It was hilarious.
Dude, I'm
He
so
got interviewed and
upset.
everything.
His name was Paul Leesman.
Yeah.
I remember that.
And it wasn't until almost like right before he died that I realized that it was
Policeman.
policeman.
Because it was just
Because
Leesman, Officer
I just called him
Leesman. Yep.
Leesman.
Yeah.
I felt so dumb. I
SDS
felt
I like
so
to
good. Like,
do that.
I've gotten all the other references. I get it. What's Siren's character from the Rooster's Rest is I'm sorry. I'm sorry. And I was like, I got that one, but I couldn't get fucking Paul Lee.
Yeah, I get it. Now I've been playing with Gary Schmod. I've been playing with
Gary
Dude,
Schmod.
I met him when
Oh,
he
he
was
was
DOC.
DOC when I
Spud
was.
is so funny, man.
Oh, it's so
Yeah.
He was DOC when I was. I like when people make like puns in their names. I think it's very fun when you like figure it out. I wish I thought of that when I made Turo. I just make like instead of Turo, I just make like a pun out of it.
So
Somebody roleplayed as like Kara, and then her last name was OK.
Yeah.
The other day, and she's just like singing. It's really fun.
I see marijuana on Twitter all the time on Twitter. Dude, so we have Gary Smod, who by the way is gonna do great with the PDs. Great, excellent character, but I got bad news, boys.
No.
It's name change time.
Are they forcing him?
I think I heard that.
Why?
Yeah, they changed the last
Why?
name.
Gary
Dude,
Schmod? Come
apparently
on.
we can hire cocaine, but Gary Smod is
He's
too
really
much.
drunk.
That's so.
So I'm thinking
Yeah.
maybe he'll change his name to like Half Life or something like that. I think that
Yeah.
Who plays Gary Schmod?
but
He plays Zuckerberg with he's like he's with
the
Fingal
Fingal hang
sometimes.
around. It's like he's with the guild now, I think more than Fingal. The Fingal is unofficial guild anyway.
Oh, Fing Guild is in the guild. And then you
No,
have-
that's right.
yeah.
Fing Guild is in the guild.
Guild.
You're right.
That's been fun. Like, I didn't know that guy at all, and then we just started riding together here and there, and he's funny, man. I like riding with him. But then now I get pegged as like SBS, and I really don't care. It's what it is. It's funny.
Wonder
So
how
I can
these
go from-
guys.
I
Sorry,
go
go
from
ahead.
like riding the Fingal, and then I'll be by myself with someone else, and I'll be all serious. I'm like, oh, I thought, what do you need to choose? I'm like, I don't need to choose.
Just do what I want every day.
No, I didn't.
Yeah.
And
Try to have
that's
fun.
dumb. I feel like there's so many cops who they get labeled as SBS, but on like the realistic side, they just know how to balance.
Mhm.
Like Copper,
Mhm.
for instance. Copper, you don't think when you think of Copper, you don't think of SBS. But she is actually one of the most SBS cops like ever.
She does
Like, we
very
did
good.
the-
sarcastic.
We did the
Very
Suicide
sarcastic.
Squad with her thing a little while ago where Changang
I saw
was
that.
they were held up in their warehouse off just across from the VLC.
Oh,
And we were gonna breach it to go downstairs and like get them. And Brick had this idea. Walnut, he's got
Brick,
this idea.
like, Mr. J, was that Brick? It was like,
Yeah, he was Harley Quinn. He's like, let's make like a Suicide Squad because I put
Yeah.
so I was in charge of one team and then I said, Brick, you're in charge of this team because I just thought it would be funnier that way. And he's like, all right, we're going to get changed. We're all going to become Suicide Squad characters.
That's
And
so
the only
funny.
reason we were able to do it is because Copper was there, and she was dressed as Killer Croc.
Oh, that's so
She
good.
was like the most ridiculous of all the characters too.
You know
Uh,
what's you know what's funny about you guys watch Suicide Squad 2
Oh, yeah.
where the
I
spoilers.
didn't.
At the beginning,
The beginning, what happens? It pretty much happened to Tromps. And these guys. I watched them all just get
Oh, yeah.
just mowed down.
every last one. I don't wait. Brick survived, but then he died after. Everyone died in the
survived, yeah.
suicide.
There's,
I guess
there's
who?
something
gu-
about Brick saying, like, standing in like the Juggernaut walk and saying, "Hey, Mr. J."
Mr. J.
It's so funny.
Yeah, he's funny. Man.
Oh,
I like,
fuck.
I like
That's
him a
very
lot.
good.
yeah, Copper can be. I feel like it's really, really important on this server, especially as a cop, to balance yourself based on who you're up against, right? And this is something that I try to do very, very often on Moosebeard. You know, I can be silly, I can be goofy, but when the situation arises and you need somebody who can be serious, like boom, it's like a light switch, right? Like suddenly
Yep.
you got your serious cop who's ready to go hard and like take somebody out.
Mhm.
Absolutely.
But for me, it's always been about balance, and I know there's a lot of cops who they typically balance just towards like the hard cop side, and they'll do that for anybody, for Littleman's, blocks, stands, whatever the clowns, whatever the situation is, right? But I feel like you have to look at who you're dealing with and balance yourself based on that. Like, are you really gonna go as hard as you possibly can against Chatterbox and then miss out on the potential role play that's gonna come from him doing something interesting during a pursuit, or you know, just making role play from the situation that you guys are currently in?
Mhm.
Yeah, no, I agree. You should. I hate to say read the room, but you really, it's a skill you should learn. Like I did that. I remember the first time I saw the Little Mins, I like insta tased and cuffed them for some dumb shit, and I felt like an asshole. I didn't know like the whole vibe, and then later I was like, man, I probably shouldn't have done that. I probably should have let that go.
Oh,
So
fuck him,
it's-
dude. Fuck him.
Yeah, fuck 'em. But
Those,
I
I
always,
fucking hate
but
those
I
guys.
like I don't care. Like I'll lose every situation. I as long as I'm having fun, I do not give a shit. I really don't. So and I get a lot of flack from that, from like, hey, why did you not charge that? You could have charged this or that or this. Or you're gonna let these guys go? I'm like, well, they're at a heist robbery and they have a whole Word doc saying like, you know, they're doing this. Yeah, I'm gonna let them go. Like,
Yeah,
you
they
know,
want
like,
the extra
well,
mile.
they don't. Yeah, like, well, they're not on the roster for this. I'm like, I believe them. You know, like I.
I'm allowed to make the
So
call. I believe them.
I don't care.
Yeah.
As long as I'm having fun, I'll lose every situation. I
I-
don't give a shit.
I think a good example of this was not too long ago, I think, the ambulance situation with the Littlemans and Eugene Zuckerberg, where they stole an ambulance from the hospital and they went to Maldini's and it was just there and they were all in a bush and every cop that arrived was like tagging along that they couldn't see them, and whenever they stood still, so we were just like searching. We'd look them straight in the eye and go, "Where the hell are these guys?" And it led on. It even went as far as like I'm pretty sure they jumped the ambulance. They're at the docks towards the tuner shop. There's these ramps that go over the water, and I'm pretty sure like the little miss like rammed the ambulance, just fell in the water, and then we pretty much lost each and every one of them. But it was just it was because when it's a learning thing, right? Because when you first get to know the Littlemans, you're like, who the fuck are these high pitched, skinny assholes? And then you figure out it's actually like a 60-year-old bearded man uh, with blue lights in his room, you know, and having having fun. It changes your perspective, and it's very entertaining and it's very fun
60's
to
a little high. 60's a
tag along. You
But
know?
on the other hand, you have like you got to know when
Still
people are
shocked.
being super serious, and then you turn it on. Like I like that too. I feel it's like a challenge. If you run into like Kiwo on a real serious character, you're like, fuck, all right. You like slap yourself in the face. You're like, get my game on. These people,
Yeah.
step your game up. So it's like you can
And then you meet Trish.
Yeah. And then she's running around in a fucking vending machine.
Yeah.
I'll do like an hour with that. But then like, or you'll run into like Denzel. And you'll be like, okay, all right, stop fucking around. This is like, let's actually like, you know, be serious. You have to like flip that switch. It takes a while to know how and when to do that.
Oh yeah, it's a major skill. I feel like it's just really important. So we've talked about this before on the podcast, and I'm sure this just kind of judging your vibe, half-hand is like this is how I believe that you probably feel as well. And could tell me if I'm wrong, but I have always felt that making sure that everyone around me or interacting with me or whatever is having fun as well is just like super important to me.
Yeah, I really
No,
try.
it's
I don't want people to not have a good time. Sometimes you just can't, but
yeah. Well, I mean,
um,
especially as cops, it's like
you
you
really
gotta
try. Yeah,
do that shit.
I like even like let's say you have a huge fucking scene, and someone's in cuffs. Yeah, I always try to talk with them or not put them in a bush or some shit like that. Like,
Yeah,
we're all in a community together. We should be aiming to have fun. It's a video game when it comes down to
yeah.
it, and a lot of people take this video game seriously. But yeah, you just have fun, and
Yeah, we're all
if you
here to
know
have
that somebody's not
fun.
into something, don't push it. So that's how I do it.
We kidnap a lot of people, and we've kind of developed a methodology for it, where one of the first things we'll ask them is we'll get them talking, because we've seen kidnappings in the past, and a lot of the times, whoever's doing it is very self-centered. They just want to do what they're doing and get it done, and then the person ends up being essentially just a mechanic for their whatever crime they're doing.
Shut the fuck up, get in the car.
Yeah. Well, the first thing we do is we ask them who they are. We introduce ourselves because it's always so funny. And then we find out more about them, and we get them talking, and we get them involved, and we just want them to be having a good time. We just, like, straight up, a lot of the times now, we just ask people, do you have time to be a hostage? Are you cool with being a hostage for a little while? We got some cool shit planned. You coming? Like, well, I mean, you have guns. And I'll be like, yeah, but like, if you want to take that phone call, you can take that phone call. It's fine.
That's great.
That's nice.
Yeah, that's good.
That's great. While we're talking about Littlemans, can we talk about the landslide victory of the Littleman court case? Trumps, would you mind going over that?
Oh, well, what can I say? We absolutely demolished the DOC, beat them at their own game. They killed our brother. Just absolutely killed him. That was fun. It was good. I wish so. Our original judge was Nathan, was Crane, and he was totally burnt out from doing the Diamond Dogs court case literally the day before that went until like super late. And I'm pretty sure he knew that we wouldn't care if he missed the trial, so he was just beat. He didn't show up. But we ended up getting Grayson to fill in. And Grayson is awesome. Grayson loves the Littlemans. He was totally down for it. It was good. It was good. Everybody got a chance to get up there and talk. We had some really good interaction with Birch, the other the lawyer from the defense side. And then for those of you who don't know what it was we broke into the prison to try to steal back a DOC bus that we stole. Then the DOC stole back, and then we wanted it back because we were technically raffling it away in a game that we had created for a bunch of people. Long story short, though, we got shot, and we weren't really warned. And so Miles and I, obviously being cops, we wanted to push the fact that there needs to be verbalization for everything you do. Even if you think somebody heard you, you need to say it again, closer and louder, so that 100% that they heard you, right? You got to cover all your bases, maybe get somebody in a car who's shouting, or like on the megaphone, just like make sure you're verbalizing everything that you do. And none of us were ever told like, stop breaking into the prison, you're gonna get shot. Like, they just assumed that it was implied, right? And so we just our main goal from the whole trial was to just like bring that to light and kind of let the DOC know, like, hey, you guys got to be like verbalizing, this is us a little out of character, kind of just like helping you.
It was such a good way to do it
with that. And then so we created the trial, and we just were like, you wrongfully killed our brother without proper verbalization. Like, we're lawyers. You can't do that. And it was good. The reason I'd hoped like Crane would have done it was because I feel like there would have been more
changes,
more like punishment. Like
No
Grayson's great.
consequences.
Grayson 100% goes with everything, and he's super funny, and he's always good to have like for whatever kind of trial we're doing. But every time we get Grayson, we don't end up with like a lot afterwards, right? Like we won $2 from
Yeah.
this court case, and like I think a court case before that or something ended up in the same way. We were like, some guy was forced to pay us like $1,000. I was like, oh, okay.
Yeah.
Right. That's cool.
But the
case was
Littlemans did get the Pyrrhic victory, right? They did get the, you know, they technically won, so that means that the DLC was wrong, they were right. And during the trial, I knew the trial was happening.
You're a very loud corpse.
What? I don't know. I was dead. It was gas escaping, maybe.
Well, okay.
But I
kept putting down signs.
I don't know what you're talking about.
I know what you're talking about.
I had to leave. I couldn't be here, but one of my girlfriends was here, and so I was like, "Babe, I have to be a corpse for the next couple of hours. I don't know how long it's gonna be. Can you just come by every couple of minutes, or can you just sit in the room and like work on your work laptop, and just if anybody needs anything, if something weird happens, you just try to like call me and I can help you fix it." And she's like, "Yeah, it's fine." She knows the RP stuff, so she knows what to do. So I was like, "Don't." I actually disabled the mic when I left so that there would be no accidental hot mics. And then just a corpse. And she messaged me at one point. She went, "Babe, one of the sweetest things I've ever seen in my life is happening right now." And I'm like, "What? What's happening?" And she's like, "They said you're a real Littleman." And I was like, "What do you mean?" She's like, "They said you're the third Littleman." And I got emotional like in like the pub that I was having brunch in, because I was just like, that's funny. Man, like that's what a good, that whole court case.
We John Doe'd you,
man. That whole court case was like a love letter to Crim Littleman. It was so good.
You died and we gave you a promotion after you died. So it doesn't even matter. It doesn't matter.
Exactly.
It's still Jim and Tim because you're dead.
You gave him a promotion, and this guy was just sitting in a bar eating. It wasn't even there. It wasn't even on his PC.
So, this might have been answered before, but do you have a problem with people just showing up like, "Hey, I'm Mike Littleman"? Do you
no,
I have that.
Don't care anymore.
Oh, for who? What character did that happen to you on?
Oh, just like people will show up. Like, "Oh, hey, we've been doing this or that," or you have something going on and they make your brother and you don't know who they are or something like that. You don't have that.
Isn't that like a server rule that you probably shouldn't?
I don't report people unless they go nuts, but
yeah, same.
So you don't have that, like somebody just shows up like, "Oh, I'm your uncle." You don't have that?
So we had one guy and he actually he's a friend of ours. We'd interacted with a few times, and then one day he shows up and he's John Littleman, which is our dad, right? And he's going around and he's like, "Where are my sons?" And we're like, no, don't do this. Like,
first of all, it's Jahan.
Well, that actually at this time it wasn't Jahan yet, because we'd always had the idea that we wanted him to be like a shadow character that we just talk about, right? That is powerful and that we can use as like an RP mechanic. And then from there it kind of became like, well, what if somebody actually played him and it was like an admin or a dev? Right. And then that's where the name Jahan Littleman came from, where we're like, well, what if it was Han who played him? Like, that'd be great. Yeah, no, we really don't mind it. We've had a few just show up, never like, no, I mean, I've put it out there before that it's like an open invite to anybody who wants to just like have fun.
Oh, okay, that's good.
We've had people show up who we still don't know who they are, and we were like blown away by what they've done. We had one that like showed up. He had the same name as another Littleman, spelt a little different, and it's just this role play scenario. Just it got so interesting like very quickly. We're like, Jim and I, we turn away from him. We're like, he kind of looks like Grim, but is he Grim? His name's spelled differently. He's got a different ID. Kind of sounds different too, And we're like stage whispering so you can hear all this, yeah. And then it eventually led to him like role playing as though he was like a cyborg, like a robot, and like he'd shut down if he got wet, and he was like super strong.
Nice.
That's great.
But he was like playing oblivious to it all. Like he was just like a robot that had been sent here to be a Littleman.
I love it.
I only
Still
did like
no idea who that guy is. Not a clue.
I only managed to do like 40 actual minutes of Littleman stuff because it was like just before Storm and nobody was in queue anymore. So I was like, you know, I'll just hop on. Oh, fuck it. And dude, even it was only 40 minutes. I had a blast because it was something different than Turo, and it was so good. I was like, everything I see is a movie that I was in. That's what I'm gonna do. Yeah. So I was just like, oh, you're in a movie, and I put on my Littleman voice. I was like, yeah, this movie called Car Dog. It's just coming out. It was only 40 minutes, but it was really cool, and like I enjoyed it. I very much did.
Was it Finn? Is that what your little man was?
Fim, yeah, Fim.
Fim, that's
It's like
the-
almost fit, but like, you know, Fim. I thought it, dude. If you got people running on like Mr. Tim E,
Mr. Timmy Littleman is so funny. It's Mr. Time who plays Bane. So he's Mr. Tim E.
So good.
It's
So good.
stupid.
It's so
give him
dumb.
that- flag for it every
He's actually
time.
one of the reasons I passed out on the server from laughing. When Krim put him on top of, he like was dragging him and he struggled and fell on one of the local cars, and the local car drove off with him. And I can't,
Was that Mr.
Yeah.
Tim? I thought I think that was Hachi,
I
actually.
think it was Mr. Tim.
I'm pretty sure it was Hachi that you left on
It
the
was
car.
one of them. It was very funny. I know Mr. Time was there.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure he was.
Very funny.
I just met that guy in character on my Crim not too long ago. He seemed pretty cool.
Bane?
Dude,
Yeah.
he's flourishing right
Dude.
now. It's so good to see.
Yeah,
I'm-
yeah.
I talk with Time a lot. Like we play a lot of Destiny together, and just like whenever he's decorating an apartment at like 4 a.m, which is like what, like 11 in the, you know, before noon for me. So we just hop in a Discord call and we just kind of chill. And just even when he's like sleep deprived and doing nothing, he'll still make me crack, dude. Like I will be sitting behind my PC cackling. This guy's hilarious. It was really fun. I'm really glad
Yeah.
his stuff is going so well.
Like I don't know him or anything like that. Just in character stuff. Like I really
Oh,
need to
yeah,
get
yeah,
off
yeah.
my ass with like the heroin stuff. Like I can be in the heroin arc if I wanted to. I just need to dedicate the time to it. And he's like really deep into that. And so I met him through that. And just seems like a good character. Another one of those people where it's rare where you can just put your headphones on and you're RPing and you feel like it's a real
Yeah.
person. He gave me that vibe as well. Like as I said before, like J Dot and like the old Russians like Tarani and those guys, like you just feel like it's not a game. And he can give that vibe off to you or feel like a serious role player. But then he can also like fuck around and ride around in golf carts and kick people and stuff.
True.
That's one thing I miss about 2.0. 2.0 had a lot of like the character to no flag towards 3.0, but the character to self insert ratio was
Oh yeah.
it was like 70% characters, 30% self inserts, and it just I don't know when you're surrounded by people that are like characters, it just feels you just get immersed easily.
I love it.
But
The
now
old
it's
Russians.
yeah
They
now
were
the guy
great.
now Crim shit is just
Krim, more like cringe.
They're still out there. I mean, it's not
Yeah.
it's not what's getting all the views, but they're definitely still out there, and that's who I prefer to be with for that. But I just don't have the time for it, so I've just been doing cop just because I'll log on, I'll go to this ping, or this guy's jaywalking, let's turn this into a 20-minute bit. I hate to say it's laziness, but for me it is. It's just like this is way easier. So that's what I've been
Same
doing.
here, man. I tried to whenever I get suspended on my character Carmine, my streams never last more than 5 hours. Cause
Well,
like,
I've
'cause
been
I'm bored
playing
out
up
of
the
my
drunk
mind.
thing a lot, so I've been doing a lot more off duty thing, and that all started because I felt bad. Like there was always like a joke that my cop was like a drunk or whatever, but I never really played into it until the one of the cops permanent animated had Ezra, and he got permanent. I was there, and so like to give credence to that and to make it meaningful, and to also, oh god, I was almost bullshit how much info I had because the guy who did it the Kean Mercer from the HOA. He didn't have a mask. He used his own car. And I was like, man, I got this guy. Like, I need to make this harder for me. So I started just wandering around the city drunk and throwing up everywhere, and everyone knew it. Like, everyone knew it. So when it got to court, there would be like is this guy really? This guy's, I played that up half to make animated's perma more meaningful, and then the other half to give the role player who plays Kean a chance to win,
Mhm.
because it was actually bullshit. Like, no mask. He had his car. I was like, this guy is gonna fucking go away. Like, I need to help him out a little bit. So I made my cop like a drunk idiot, even like to the 10th degree than what I was doing before, for those two reasons.
Mhm.
So
Can I?
I've been doing the off-duty cop stuff more, playing into that because it's fun. Like, those HOA guys were great. Like, I role played with them in early. I could have joined HOA real early, and it was weird. There was like a EU HOA and a regular HOA dynamic, and like Soups and Dogbert and I were doing like the EU HOA stuff where we would take like we could kidnap Brian Knight and buried him alive and lit him on fire, like
Jesus.
crazy shit. We had the EU HOA stab squad. We were just knives and we would just stab cops and stuff, but not like, like proper initiation
Yeah.
and shit like that. And then
I love seeing just a bunch of guys get out of a car with melee weapons charging cops. Oh, it's so
and
good.
then we had like we took it so far that we had conflict with the actual HOA and it was fucking great. So like that whole crew is like really good role players, and I've been enjoying that. So I've been going up to the Liquid Library off duty and doing off duty RP, and it's been fun too.
Heck yeah. I really I liked doing off duty RP on John Hydra, but I'm always afraid like that my SBS brain is gonna take hold and I'm gonna do some dumb shit. So I usually try to when I was on cop, I would always be like, I should have to stay on character. I'll do SBS in character. We saw it. Well, that worked out, but yeah, some people that I think I wish more cops had time to play off duty. I think that they deserve like an allotted off duty amount of time. Like, you're like, oh, you're allowed to go off duty for an hour per shift or something, right?
Oh, because of cop queue and stuff. Yeah. I'm blessed that I can just get in regularly,
same.
so I don't have to worry about it. But I hear exactly where you're coming from. Yep.
And this was like Dan Faley for the longest time was like, I would love to get off and role play with Patricia, but I can't because I just can't.
Dan's a traitor. He was in lock queue when he started off. Goth Dan Faley. He was in lock queue and he used to hold down.
Didn't he do
Don't let him
like Kylo Ren or something for a while there? Rilo Ken?
I'm not sure. He was in lock queue with us, and we would do shit together, and then he he was like GSF associate holding down the pawn shop for him and stuff. But he wouldn't like do gangbanger stuff. But we would do that. I remember we would like when he became DOC, we like stabbed him and all this stuff. Like old Dan. So when I'm on Sully, I'm always, if I see Dan, I always call him a traitor or a turncoat or something.
That's great.
Yeah, he's been around a while. I didn't know he didn't have priority. He's been around for a very long time.
I think he does now, but he didn't for a while.
Oh, okay. Well, that's good. Yeah, I like Aaron.
He was actually one of the first people that I didn't just watch a stream, but I would like chat in his streams. I actually have a very cringe message of the first time I was like, hey Aaron, I know I'm one of your 5 viewers and you don't owe me anything, but I have an idea for a Nopixel character and I was wondering if you would tell me if you think it is a good idea. And then I said it and then he was like, I don't know, man, just fucking apply. I was like, okay. Yeah.
Finding messages like that is so weird.
Dude.
Because you'll have like all right, a little bit of an embarrassing. Well, it's not embarrassing. It's just I used to watch before I even played RP. I used to watch Kina a lot, and I remember like somewhere in her Discord from like 2019, I have a message like, "Oh, really fun stream today. Like I had fun in chat, and whatever, some stuff." And then like a few days ago, I joined the Discord to post a picture of the pirate event that I did, that we did, and then I saw my message. I was like, dude, somebody's gonna look at this and be like, this is a fan. Oh shit.
Yeah.
I don't know.
I that would be weird. Like, 'cause I used to play WoW. I still do, but like I would watch like what's his name, McConnell, when this is before RP, and I'd post like the like, oh, I'm red, you fucking. I was like, man, I'm playing with this guy. Look me up in his chat. He's gonna see like emotes and stuff. That would be weird. I know where you're
Yeah.
coming from.
I hope he finds out. I hope he finds out.
Oh, I'm sure. But it's just funny, like, or what he would call himself, McCuck or whatever. I'd be like, fuck you, McCuck. Just stupid shit like that, like, because his whole chat like spams against him and stuff. That was like years ago, though. That's weird how it works out where you like watch people like that or like submit and then you get an RP.
I'm like a
It's
5-year
weird.
summit sub or something.
I canceled all my subs like now. Just I just got Twitch Turbo because all the money goes to Amazon instead of ads. I remember the golden days when Twitch Prime would give you Turbo and you didn't
so
have any
good.
ads. Like, you literally can't watch Twitch without.
Gotta have
it's just
Turbo.
ad.
Unsub to 2 people that you like the least and buy Turbo. Trust.
Well, my Twitch Prime, every month I'll like just do that to one of my friends. That's really it.
Don't tell people
Actually,
to
no, I think
unsub
I have
for
a
me.
sub this suits.
I said I
do,
said that you
yeah,
like
I
the
sub this
least.
suits.
Nobody likes you the least.
Yeah.
Can we talk about what was it, Cayo Perico or whatever the island situation was, Troms? Apparently, I heard a
Yeah.
little rat told me that you were in your element for like 3 hours.
Yeah, I mean, it was really cool. It was I knew nothing about it. Apparently they had been planning it for quite some time. It was a pirate event, skeletons and whatnot, pirate island. They had been working on it. They got they made like a man of war for it. Somebody designed the island, somebody made the ped models. There was supposed to be an accompanying like riddle / like Sea of Thieves riddle solving part, but apparently that got solved far too early by uninvolved parties.
Great.
So yeah,
couple of
otherwise
Doras.
no, it was fun. Yeah, it was interesting, and I want to say that like this wasn't for me. It wasn't about me. It just happened to be pirate themed, and so of course I was all over it. But I really didn't want to like take away from something that wasn't mine to begin with. It was meant as like something the devs had put together. So they like made me captain and shit like that, and I just didn't want to like take away from that. So
a lot of people were like very excited for you because this like your thing.
yeah.
And I even like watched your VOD. The first time you saw the huge ship, I immediately heard like the Share X sound because you were just like
I took a picture.
screenshots.
I
And,
took
like,
some cool pictures.
You're very excited, and that was just fun to see. Like it was really cool to see like this guy's been doing this pirate stuff for so long.
Yeah.
Here is his actual like something that is directly perfect for him. And then I also noticed that like the devs told like people aside me like, all right, like this is Moosebeard. We're gonna involve him a bit as well. And it was, dude, you were shining, man. You were glowing.
Yeah, it was good. And you know what? I've been feeling a little lost on cop because like I do balance the line of like goofy and serious, and I think more people just see Moosebeard the pirate cop as less than serious. So it's like he's not moving up as fast as I wish he could, or he should, in my opinion.
I would agree.
But I also felt a little lost, like where the character belongs, right? Because I left like a world of light crime. I left like a goofy other characters to become a cop with a pirate for whatever reason. And you see a lot of people who've been on the server for a while, like getting stuff in relation to who they are. Like for instance, like the clowns got their house, right? The big clown mask on the side of it, and like, you know, other people get their compounds and all that. And like for there to just be like a pirate event, it just made the character feel more at home, right? Like it belonged on the server and wasn't just like this silly idea that spawned from doing Sea of Thieves role play 5 years ago.
So sick. I think it's awesome. What was it? Whitley was
happy.
doing a skeleton or something? Is that, did we get Whitley booth voice as a skeleton?
So they made me captain, and then it was essentially a 78's call that led to like the island. And so, which is for those of you who aren't cops, is like an emergency backup call. We had a lot of cops there, and so I come back after Toby made me captain, and I'm like, all right, here's what's gonna happen. Any cops that don't want to be here, you can leave. And then Byrne was like, well, wait a second, and he made them do like a scavenger hunt. But I was like, I just wanted it to be like apparent, like you guys don't have to be here if you don't want to be here. But so go ahead and leave.
That's
but,
such a great. I love when,
funny.
dude. You're a great cop. You're a great role player. You care about people, dude. I love when fucking cops do that, man. When people go, okay, there's a little goofy. If you want to go, you can go. It's such a good.
Yeah, a bunch of people apparently did leave too, so that's good.
I
can
fucking
imagine
missed
somebody,
it,
like,
man.
Oh,
It
you
was
did?
interesting.
Yeah,
I think it was more scuffed than they wanted it to be, because there was
That's
supposed to
always
be.
just-
There's two major things that I think scuffed out the most. The Man of War, which was the big ship, huge. You could stand on top of it, but if it moved, it like would make you ragdoll and shoot into the sky, and like
Oh
they
shit.
essentially made it so that you could pilot it, but it didn't work. It was scuffy, right? So they ended up just teleporting it to the island. And the other one was there was supposed to be like the puzzle solving to unlock the island. Oh, and then I guess the third one was the fact that I think there was like a map marker that showed where it was. And so people saw the map marker and just
decided to go rent a boat.
"Oh, yeah, let's rent a boat or a plane and head out there and see what that map marker is, what this point of interest is, right?"
Yeah.
And so there was like pictures of Pirate Island up like half an hour earlier than I think the devs intended. But overall, it was good. And again, I do want to say, like, it wasn't for me. It wasn't anything about me. I didn't want to steal it from anybody. So I just kind of, I just kind of sat back and watched it all unfold, and it was really good. It was really cool.
It like quote unquote for anyone? Was there a specific person that Des had in mind, or were they just like, here's a pirate island?
Yeah, I think they just did it.
I think they were planning to just. I was kind of like, it was kind of Burns, like he was like in the center of it.
Classic. He has some really good ideas.
Classic.
Happy that
Thank
devs
God,
really
true.
back him up on stuff.
Burn is super amazing at including other people. But his initial plan was to just kidnap like a group of people, bring them to the island, and make them do like a hunt. But then it turned into Moosebeard, and then all the cops showing up, and then we showed up in like 3 police boats and 2 helicopters. There's like 20 cops just there, and I thought it was really cool. I thought, besides the occasional, you're crawling through the forest and you're trying to look for a key to save Peach, and you look to your right, there's a guy with a Gucci outfit on a jet ski going around the island. But besides that, I think it was very cool, dude. I thought I had fun. It was a change of pace from the occasional like the normal 78s.
Yeah. And I guess somebody said, I think it might have been you, Neil, that there were like cannons and stuff, and people just started shooting at the guys on jet skis.
Yeah, they had actual like cannon rocket launchers almost.
Awesome.
And cutlasses as well, and flintlocks.
Yeah.
Did they like skin the machetes or something?
So Toby said I
think
could
so.
keep the flintlock,
Oh.
but I don't have it anymore. It's gone.
You don't have it
now.
anymore?
No,
I-
it's gone. I have the musket still, and then the scimitar is gone too.
You said you should message him about the flintlock.
I'm you know what I think I might, and I'm gonna say, can I have a Glock, but it's a special Glock that looks like a flintlock pistol and it's coded to only shoot 1 bullet before reloading.
That's so funny.
Because
Why'd you do that to yourself?
Okay, so here's the thing: the actual flintlock is like super OP, like it's not balanced at all, and so I want the Glock's damage, but only has 1 shot in the magazine.
Does the FN57 do the same damage as the Glock? It's just better.
No, it's way higher.
It's more like a rifle than the pistol.
Wait, how about
It's
that?
pretty
That
strong.
seems
crazy.
balanced, right? It's an FN pistol, but you have to reload after every shot. That's funny.
So Desert Eagle, right?
I would
Pretty much.
stick with a Glock. You give me a pea shooter and make it that. It deals like taser damage, and I would still use it.
Yeah,
I
I
try to win shoot up
That's
somebody.
roleplay,
dome
baby.
people with it. Yeah.
I know they can like tie skins to characters.
Mm-hmm.
So maybe you pull out a Glock and it just looks like a. Just looks like.
See,
a
but that's the thing though, is I don't want 17 bullets to be in my flintlock.
Yeah, I definitely think you should at least message and be like, hey, like here's,
I'll see if maybe they can just balance the flintlock to be like no damage at all, and then just give me one that doesn't deteriorate.
that'd be cool.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, but then you get like robbed. There's somebody to take it.
Yeah, well, okay.
Nah,
Yeah.
I have more faith. They'd probably, it might happen, but
It's been
you
a
probably
very
might not
long
get it.
time since I've actually been like robbed.
I think if somebody robs it
Like,
and then
on-
like role plays like, hey, we got your gun, not hides it in their apartment and then leaves, like that's different.
If they're
but yeah.
cool.
Troms, now you know that the devs have a pirate island.
Yeah.
And it might come out again, so who knows? Pirate
So-
roleplay, my dude.
When they left, I tried to make something of it too, and this Moosebeard is every pirate in history. He plays on all the tropes. He's every Pirates of the Caribbean movie. And so when he saw undead skeletons, he was like, "No, listen, I've been through this. You guys don't want this. It's not as good as it seems right now, right?" And so after Toby was like, "All right, well, we're gonna be leaving," and I was like, "All right," but I got serious for a moment. I was like, "Listen, if you need help, trust me, you don't want to be like this. You can contact me. I'll be there to help."
Like you like
right?
helped the skeletons out.
Yeah,
that's
and I was
awesome.
like, I'm like, you guys, you could just trust me. You're not gonna want to be like this forever. And so when the time comes when you want to like break this curse, you come to me.
That's great.
You're
like opening the next, yeah. Very good.
Yeah.
It's
There's
me
a real
throwing my
nice-
name in the hat. If it does happen, I'm asking for permission to make a little Goblin Man pirate. To
Yeah, a little.
hop on
What's
your
a self-insert?
No, what the fuck?
Oh no, you did not go there.
Nice one, dude.
That's so good. That's very good.
452.
I'm making a big butch pirate now. All done. Self-insert. 6'5".
The token strong guy. Yeah.
Classic. Yeah.
There's like a nice KO Perico like jacket with like a panther on the back that I wear sometimes.
Oh,
You just
yeah.
gotta watch out because it's like yellow. It looks like Vagos
Mhm.
almost. But I actually I really like that jacket.
Dude, I got stopped by a random Vago. I have a Abdul taxi now, but I got it painted kind of like silver just because I didn't want it to quite look. I just don't like the bright yellow. But I still have yellow underglow and headlights. So I was driving to go pick somebody up, like kind of like near GSF area, and a Vago stopped me and he's like, "You got to change your lights." And I was like, "Why?" And he's like, "Because that's the Vago's color." And I was like, "You guys are still a
Yeah.
gang?" He was not happy.
Tell me they
He
didn't
started
shoot
shooting.
you.
I
I just
drove
ran
away.
into
Yeah.
I just got this flop Dugog, nothing but trouble. I bought a car from him and it had yellow lights and the the license plate. I still can't find a judge. The license plate is titties. And I'm like, so I'm trying to change this plate. I can't find a judge, and I get Vago's lights and everything on it. Like, I'm like,
Titty
Flop, what are you
man.
doing to me? This guy.
That's so funny.
But yeah, I'm like, okay, I guess it's just gonna be titties for a while, but I would like to change it.
That's very good. I like that a lot. Titties.
Yeah, I'm like, Flop, what is wrong with you? He's like, ah.
Half hand. Do you have has anything happened recently that you'd like to talk about, or has any arcs happened with anybody here on the podcast you'd like to bring up, or any salty tea that you've read on the internet, or anything about Nopixel you'd like to bring up? Anything? What's interesting you in the world of Nopixel right now?
Well, people like here right now, like Troms, you worked at Rooster's Rest, right? Like a while back. So
Oh yeah.
I know from that. I used to work there in 2.0 when it was just like a taxi company, but it was a front for terrorism.
Yep. Rooster's Cab Company.
I never understood why they didn't take off more. Like you have like people like Ellie and like Soda Kite and Buddha would advertise for taxi drivers, and just nobody would show up. I'm like, what the
They
fuck? These
brought
guys
it
are, like-
back in 3.0, but only Patrick Desau was actually doing it.
Yeah, Big Patrick. I love that man.
Yep.
Big Patrick, Dewey, Nerd Andy and I and Soups, and I never understood why more people didn't want to like role play with him. It was weird, but um, I know him from there, and then from Mooseman and Cop. I never really ran into John Hydra too much, like here and there, but um, I just don't have time, so I don't know exactly what arcs you got going on, other than what you've been talking about. But I think that Judge stuff would be good, and then 52. Just we were when he came in, I was head on into my LSPD loyalist arc, and he was doing it too. So we RP together, and then when I left,
I did it longer, not longer. I did it. I'm still loyal. He's
still loyal. Yeah, I betrayed everyone, even and but I gave him my badge, and I told him to get my badge number. But then he chose Brian, and they went to the 1, so he can't have my badge number. But 52 was fun. I actually remember Crayon told me about 52 when she went to Wild West, because I was like, hey, is there anyone cool over there? And she was like, well, there's this guy 52. I hope he goes to Nopixel or something like that. I remember she told me about him. So I always was like, okay, so this guy probably knows what he's doing if she says he's good to go.
Yeah.
What can I say? I'm an S-tier role player, one of a kind.
You get the approval.
Best of the best.
Um,
I don't want to say one thing about you, offhand. There's a few characters that my characters like attracted to, not sexually, like just roleplay wise, okay? And yours is one of them, because characters that don't come off as like army Swift snipes that are good at everything and are like their best selves. And if the person playing them could choose to live in that character's life, they would, because it's them, but better them. Those characters to me, they're very mundane, boring. But the character you play, Fitzpatrick, with all his flaws, and then me finding out that you're an IRL cop and you play your cop like this, I was like, I want to be around this dude. It's pretty cool.
Yeah, that was very much on purpose. Like, I could have been
the best cop on the server.
Fucking a Chad. I could be in high command right now. Like, I don't want anything really to do with that. I'm just trying to have fun. So that was very much, like a self nerf.
How does it make you feel watching other like cops, my type of cop, violating people's rights, doing the most illegal shit in front of you, and passing it off like it's okay?
It's funny. It's funny. I had no idea that you had just fucked up Francis. I didn't know that. So that's hilarious. I thought that was funny.
No
as
evidence.
Heck.
No evidence at all.
You got away with it. That's good. No, that was very much itself. I think it would be very boring to just play yourself or whatever, or even like a different version of using your knowledge. So, but sometimes it comes out though, like if like a scene's really fucked up or something, or let's say like somebody's trying to give call outs and nobody's listening to him. I'm like, hey, listen, listen to this guy, he's in charge. Or I'll just little stuff like that where it comes out. I'm like, oh, that one really wasn't in character. Just little dumb shit like that. But current arcs right now, not much. I mean, we just closed the murder of Ezra. And so I don't, and then
Carmine almost got fired for that. Stuff.
Did he?
Wait, I did for Ezra?
Because you showed up to the funeral. Yeah, we cuffed
him. Yeah.
Like, that. Yeah.
For
some reason, I thought you were going to say the murder of John Copp. Check in the general chat. I posted, this is Bobby Boulderman's investigation for the murder of John Copp.
Solved alive.
When you figured that out. I remember that. We were at, what is it, Legion Square or something, rental spot, and he was like, wait, he's alive.
Yeah.
I was supposed to investigate his murder.
Yeah. Well, it was so apparently there were some just like strange things that were said around the time that Pensa was like losing his PD whitelist, and John Cobb went along with that, right? And so when he came back, I guess Bobby during that time had been investigating why he was gone.
I love Seal. I love Seal so much.
That's great.
Dude, he's really funny.
But like current arcs, I'm still playing up the Fitzpatrick drunk arc, and there's like Sizz is giving me moonshine.
Nice.
So I'm like playing that, and then so that's really the only thing I have going on with that is just like hey man, I need some more of that. Which is weird because then like I was playing Sully as a heroin addict before, so it's like, okay, my one character's a heroin addict and my other character's a terrible drunk. It's like I didn't mean for that to happen, but it just did. And then that's really that. And then the heroin arc on Sully, like he's not an addict anymore. He's an addict, but he's managing it. So then, I could get into the distribution stuff. I just need to find the time
Mhm.
to get it going. But that's really it. Nothing crazy right now, which is, it's less stress, but it's fun too to try and set stuff up. I just don't want to be the type of cop to just, do pings and stuff like that. Well, my new thing that I actually like a lot is I go to Legion Square and I turn the lights on the car and I put on a high vis vest and I just do slash traffic. And so people driving by, I'll tell them to slow down, or I'll pretend the lights broke and I'll do traffic.
You can,
direction
I don't know if
RP.
I don't actually,
It's hilarious.
maybe I shouldn't say this. I don't know if people know this. You can alt look at traffic lights now and turn them into scrap. You can like disassemble them into scrap. I haven't seen anybody talking about it, so I've been keeping
been a thing for a while
yeah,
now.
for a while. Yeah. You need a screwdriver.
No, you can just do it.
Nope.
Oh,
So
okay.
you don't have
No, somehow
you don't
you can just
have to
take 'em
role play
apart.
that it's gone. You can just take that shit down.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, or I'll like
Uh,
run it over on the car or whatever.
so-
But I have met so many new people doing that in art, like long, like half an hour, like quick arcs with people. And I keep doing it. It's funny. And people are like, why are you standing there? I'm like, this is a very dangerous intersection. We did a traffic survey, and there's people who are losing their lives out here, and I'm gonna put a stop to it. And then I'll just like talk with people when they come through. That's
Hell
actually really fun. I'm enjoying that.
That's great.
I love checkpoint stuff, dude. I love traffic stuff. But it's a good break from the rest.
Yeah, I write no tickets. I'm just talking to people. I'm just like, all right, slow down. Half of them just keep driving, but then the other half will swing around, and it's just different. Like,
Always nice when you're used to like I don't know how it is because you guys are mostly shift 2. I'm assuming. If like start a shift 1, there's a lot of people that they go really fast past you. Turn on the lights, you turn on the siren. They flip it in an extra gear and they send it away. Usually whenever I see that happening, I'm just like, yeah, I'm good. And then the one time that they like stop, that they play along, it's so nice.
Mhm.
It's so
I always
entertaining.
joke. I'll be like, I'm gonna get him. When obviously I won't. I'll be like,
I'm
we
gonna
got
get him.
this. And, like,
He's mine.
or like Figgle or somebody. They're like, what? I'm like, no, we got it. Don't worry about it. And it's just gone. Like, yeah, I just make a joke about it.
That's great.
Nice.
But yeah, that's really it. Nothing crazy. But and the thing, because like some people are kind of in a holding pattern with all the hardcore this or that. Like, I don't want to get involved in this, and I'm just like, hey, if it happens, it happens. Just have fun and do your thing.
Enjoy the now.
Yeah.
Damn. I don't know if you covered it when I was gone, but what do you guys think of the hardcore stuff?
I think somebody
We'll see.
last episode said something that really kind of made me open my eyes to it. It's not going to be like hardcore. If you get shot, you have to spend a lot of time in the hospital, which is kind of how I was thinking about it. It's hardcore. You will be punished for not role playing well.
Yeah. They're just, it's not like they're not looking for like a Discord call thing. We'll figure it out when it's out there. Like, I don't think everyone knows. There's just like a lot of rumors and stuff like that. I'm sure it's going to be less fast cars, maybe less guns. It's going to be more encouragement to talk and whatever. But it could also just be like early 3.0. You never know until it comes out. We'll see.
It'll be fun.
Hell yeah.
It's going to be awesome.
Something interesting,
regardless.
something new.
Well, boys, it's about time. It's been about 2 hours here. Anybody else got anything they want to cover before we wrap her up?
This was good. I'm just glad that we get to like know more about you because you're not around that often. At
You
least not
definitely
that I
fly under the
see
radar in a
firsthand.
lot of ways.
Yeah, and
That's on purpose. I don't want to insert myself unless I'm needed, or if it doesn't make sense. You'll often see me like just walk away.
Dude, I'm always happy to see you. They're funny and interesting. I think we've interacted on. I don't think I met you said you may had a third character. I don't think I met him, but
Yeah, I haven't played him in a while. My lawyer.
Yeah,
it's a hobby. It's fun. Like right. So it's weird. Like with my IRL job, I switch shifts every month. So this month I work day shift. I work 7 a.m. to 3, and then I come home, and this is the best shift for me because then after work I can play for a few hours or whatever. Or if I work night shift, it's 11 p.m. to 7. I can play before I go to
Mhm.
work. And then there's a month where I work evenings where I'm just not around that much because I'm working 3 to 11, and that's when I like to play the game.
Right on.
So, and then, as I said before, I got my family, I got to give them the time they deserve. And then when I have time, like I'll play, but it's not, I just don't have the time to do everything that I would like. But I enjoy it, and it's a good time. And yeah, I try to surround myself with people with a like mindset. Not exactly everything the same, that would be boring, but with a like mindset to role play and winning and losing and stories and stuff.
Right on, man.
Nice, dude.
I think I've only interacted with your character a couple times, but before the show, I went and I watched a bunch of clips and I read some things and checked the profiles out. It looks like you have a really good time, and I think I wish more people could like just sit back and kind of enjoy playing the game and remember that it's a game the way you do. A couple of those clips I was watching, and I was like, this is awesome, with and without Fingaldan, not just a Fingaldan tag along. There's a lot of really. It seems like you genuinely are having fun pretty much every moment you're on the server, and
Yeah, I'll just get off if
I
it's
think
not
that's
fun.
the truest, most realist. People force themselves to be on because they're trying to make money and make views and get clout, and they're not just they forget somewhere along the line that it's a video. So thanks
Yeah,
for
it's good
coming
to be
today
in.
and reminding us that it's a video game and we're gonna have fun and try not to ruin anybody else's. How did you put it? Don't make anybody's day worse, or
Yeah, I mean, I'm privileged to be in the position I am, where I got my job and my family and stuff, and this is a fun hobby to have. So I understand when people don't have my mindset, but I just I don't want to be that guy to make someone angry or whatever. So I just try to have fun. That's it. It's a game.
right on. Well, thank you, Halfan, for coming on. Thanks, Neil, for being a guest host. Really appreciate it. You added a lot to the show. Thank you, my friend.
Yeah.
All right. Yespixel, episode 24.